2014 Big Gosh Poland, where against the odds Team Denmark win the Monster Energy Speedway World Cup in one of the best finals ever seen in the competition's history after they broke Polish hearts in the last lap, last corner overtaking manoeuvre by Denmark's captain Niels Christian Iversen. 2015 and Poland started their campaign to regain the title on home soil in Gniezno, Poland, where they faced Russia, Czech Republic and Sweden. It was a bad start for the home nation as this crash saw their captain and talisman Jarek Hampel break his leg in 2 places, leaving the Poles to race with just 3 men for the rest of the meeting. Despite the support of the home crowd and an early lead, the Polish side were unable to hold off Team Sweden, led by Andreas Jonsson, as the Swedes eventually tied up the meeting to progress directly through to the final, with the Poles being joined by Russia in the race-off. Event 2, Kings Lynn in the east of England, where home nation Great Britain took on Australia, Latvia and the USA. There was always going to be a battle between GB and the Roos to see who would join Denmark and Sweden direct into the final. Team USA, led by current world champion Greg Hancock, battled hard, but always ran a competitive third, whilst Latvia failed to show the promise they showed in the same competition 12 months earlier. Going into the final 4 heats, Australia led Great Britain by just 1 point, but wins by Morris, Batchelor and Doyle saw the confident Aussies win the meeting by 4 points and progress directly into the final, much to the delight of their skipper, Chris Holder.
We all scored quite good. Nick Morris, hat off to him for his first go here, and he was one of our top dogs tonight, so fair play to him, and Doyle, Troy did a job as well, so we're stoked to go through to the final now.
So the 2015 Monster Energy World Cup moved to Vojens, Denmark, the race-off and final, where Team Great Britain faced 6-time World Cup winners Poland, the USA led by Greg Hancock, and a depleted Russian side due to illness. From the start, it looked very much like a battle between Team Great Britain and Poland. Russia, racing with only 3 riders, posed no threat, and even the USA under their captain fantastic Greg Hancock couldn't compete. Outstanding on the night was Britain's Ty Woffington, who scored a maximum 21 points, which kept Poland and Great Britain locked in a duel for the whole evening, until the last 4 heats, when a decisive 3 wins from the 4 final races eventually gave them a victory over the Great Britain side and a berth in the final to face Australia, Sweden and hosts Denmark.
I never raced here, Bartek never raced here, so we all have some experience now, and I think we can, like today, we can show a couple good heats, and I hope this will be good for fans, and on the end, good for us.
And a very good afternoon and a very warm welcome to the Vojens Speedway Centre here in southern Denmark, where we see the 4 captains with their hands on the Ovi funding trophy, the prize that awaits the winners of the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup here this afternoon. Delighted to say we have a clearer day. Of course, this meeting is delayed from last night when rain came down and forced the abandonment of the meeting after 1 heat. Well, the riders are pushing off and we are ready for heat number 1 here, with Denmark, Sweden, Poland and Australia ready to do battle for the Speedway World Cup title. Denmark, of course, in breathtaking style, got the better of Poland last year. Heat number 1, we saw these same 4 riders last night. Kenneth Bier was the winner on that occasion. But Kelvin Tatum, you've taken a walk along the track. What are your thoughts on the surface this afternoon?
Yeah, track conditions look much improved from yesterday, of course. They've put a top dressing on of granite that will mix with the surface and create quite a lot of grip early on in the meeting. It may just be a fraction, a little patchy early on, but I do think that the track will ride very well. There shouldn't be any too many excuses.
Denmark favourites, Kel?
Yes, they are, but not comfortably. I think there will be some shocks along the way, twists and turns along the way. There always is in World Cups, but we now are going to have a fabulous meeting. It's going to be, racing conditions are good, and we've got a lot of talent on show. So yeah, it's good to be back.
Certainly is. But heat number 1 coming up here. So here we go with the first race of the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final. Przemek Pawlicki goes off gate number 1 in white for Poland. Antonio Limbach gate 2 in blue for Sweden. Kenneth Bier gate 3 in red for Denmark. And Jason Doyle going off the outside in yellow for Australia. Kelvin Tatum, the man alongside me, a former World Cup winner with England back in, what, 1989 now.
Yeah.
You've ridden this track many times, Kelvin. It is, on its day, when conditions are right, a good racing surface.
Yeah, one of the best tracks in Europe, I would say. It's a super ride, that's for sure.
Here we go, first race of the day, and who is going to get into that first turn? It's a very tight one. Pierre's gone square, nasty crash first race, and Pierre has gone crashing into the air fence.
Well, total commitment as they went to the first corner, no surprise in that, but Kenneth Pierre yesterday in difficult conditions was clear into the first corner. This time it's all handlebars and elbows as they went towards the first turn, and he came off second best, losing control and crashing awkwardly. Concern for Pierre, concern for Denmark. You cannot afford to lose a rider.
No, you can't, and we found that with the poles last weekend in Event 1, but that was just, you know, so tight going into that first turn, and we can but hope that Kenneth Pierre is going to be up and about and okay.
Yeah, heavy fall, he sort of got slung backwards in, and he may well have been winded as well. But with the regulations as they stand now, no reserve rider can come in for an injured rider, so effectively if you lose a rider, your chances of winning are extremely remote, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll see it again here.
Right, yes, now this is Jason Doyle on the outside of him, Antonio Lindback in there. Pierre just bumps the shoulder of Doyle, who has every right to be there, and he loses control and he lands heavily on his left side.
He's done well to get off the bike there,
He's done extremely well. Just a little bit of traffic. Initially when he turns the bike, he's immediately lost control. He lets go of the handlebars and bails off the side of the bike. He's very fortunate he isn't tangled with the bike when they go to the air fence, and it's just hopeful that he hasn't damaged his left shoulder or arm. There, he's got himself. It's just a classic case of bunching. Now, you see his left arm flailing. Can't quite see the impact on the track behind Doyle. It's a heavy one, I can tell you that. And it will have knocked him about, but he's up.
And it is all for restart.
Yeah, no surprise. Christian Froschauer, the German referee. It's a classic case of first corner bunching, and the Danish fans are chuffed to bits to see their man back on his feet.
Yeah, a messy one, but thankfully he's okay. He's had his problems with injuries throughout his career, of course. But
just leading on from that,
yeah.
Kenneth Pierre, there was a lot in the Danish press about him being picked over Jebsen Jensen, who's a current Grand Prix rider. And Kenneth Pierre hasn't been in the best of form this year. Has a very good record at this track, and I think Anders Secker there on his left, our right as we look, he has gone on the fact that he has terrific form around this track. Jebsen Jensen, in actual fact, who he's replacing effectively, is just chatting to him as well there. So Pierre is in, but there is pressure on him to come up with a really strong performance. Awkward. Doyle's made a good start from the outside, not enough racing room, a classic case of bunching, and no problem for the referee to put them all back.
Is that natural instinct for a rider, just to let go of the bike there now, like Kenneth Pierre did?
It's not a natural instinct, it's something you have to learn to do.
Right, okay.
Something that, because you don't want to get off the bike at high speed, but you know from a point of view of trying to save yourself, you need to. And he's made that decision now, get off. And he does, fortunately, he gets thrown to the side of the bike.
Yeah, fair play to him, did really well there. If he was heading straight for the fence there, the air fence, then goodness knows what the ramifications would have been. But thankfully, he's walking back, and he's even taking time now to look at his starting position.
No rush, and he's giving his crew a chance to just get the bike straightened out for the rerun. He'll want to ride that bike if at all possible. It's the one he chose, probably the one he won Heat 1 on last night. So it's not ideal if you have to jump on the second bike and you haven't even got round the first corner. But Everson there, the captain, just showing a little concern. You okay? Yeah, just a few pleasantries, but there's no surprise. This is going to be a very competitive night, afternoon at Speedway, excuse me. And, you know, we built it up. It's a terrific lineup, so much quality here. People like Peter Kilderman coming in is going to be, I'm excited to see him this afternoon. Antonio Lindback has been in great form. He's been scoring a lot of points on Swedish League. Good to see him this afternoon. Nick Morris is another youngster that's burst on the scene this year and is a big plus for the Australian team. And a very, very young Polish team. interesting to see how they handle the pressure here this afternoon.
Well, Peter Kellerman has just been walking out to take a look at the starting grid, and he was ushered away by the start marshal. Get away, you're not having a look at this. Didn't allow him to look at his gate position. So Anders Secker, the Danish team manager, is now with Steve Brandon.
Anders, you've just walked all the way, but you just walked back to the pits with Kenneth. How is he?
He's okay. He's hurt his knee a little bit, but I think he's okay, ready for the next one.
Not the ideal start to what could be a very tough afternoon for everyone, all the riders in the meeting.
They all want to be first in the corner, so and we also want to be there. We have to fight for this medal.
You've been team manager for a number of years now. Has it been slightly harder this week with this being the first meeting for the team in the tournament?
I think we got better preparation for this one than we had the last 4 years, so I'm quite pleased with the preparation here.
All right, thanks for linking back to the team. Thank you.
Well, so he's slightly hurt his knee, Kenneth Bier, and thankfully nothing too serious. He'll be out for the restart, but of course the long walk back has allowed his pit crew to spend a little bit of extra time on the bike as well.
Yeah, I'm sure that the race director will, it won't be too much longer now before we see the 2 minutes go on. It hasn't gone on yet. Phil Morris is going to give a little bit of extra time, but it won't be long because Kenneth has now got his helmet on and is preparing himself for the rerun. He's on the bike is now appearing. It does look like, it looks like it was the original bike, so that's quite fortunate. 2 minutes warning is on, countdown time. Riders now emerging onto track. Jason Doyle very keen, he's up at tapes. Pawlicki is a young, exciting Polish rider. He goes from the inside gate. Yeah, just getting himself ready. No problem here, it's a short way to the start line as you emerge on the track from the pits. It's literally you turn right and you're at the tape, so you haven't got to do a lap to get there, so won't be any grass cutting. But a competitive lineup for heat number 1, and second time of asking, I'm sure it'll be just as tough.
Yeah, just counting down to 1 minute 20 left for Kenneth Bier as we build up to the first race of the 2015 Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final. Looks as though it's his second bike for Kenneth Bier, no major surprise there. Comes out and just takes his time to make
They
final
must have had a
preparations.
last-minute change there because the first one they came out with was dirty, so they've fancied that there may have been something not quite right. So not ideal. This, he'll be just keeping his fingers crossed that his second one's as good as the first one.
Here we go then. Heat number 1 for the third time over 2 days.
Yes, third time of asking, yeah.
We had heat number 1 last night, won by Bier, and it was abandoned. Then here we go with the second staging of heat 1 this afternoon. Przemek Pawlicki off the inside in white for Poland. Gate 2 in blue, Antonio Limbach for Sweden. Gate 3 in red is Kenneth Bier. For Denmark, Jason Doyle going off the outside in yellow. Here we go then. Heat number 1 once again.
Yeah.
Good to see that Bier's okay and ready to race.
Yes, he'll be just gathering his thoughts and refocusing on the start. He made a great start yesterday from gate 3. Not quite the same this time. Doyle was competitive. Pawlicki's a danger. He's the man on the inside. The inside gate could be the one to be on.
Here we go, second time today, and Bier's made a beauty off gate number 3, and oh, it's getting all very tight, and Pawlicki comes through superbly. My goodness, it was all bunched up. I thought that might have ended in tears. Pawlicki has the lead. Bier is charging hard around the outside. Third place is Doyle, and here comes Bier again, winding it on. Kenneth Bier fighting for his country here, down the back straight, wheel to wheel.
Oh, brilliant stuff from Kenneth Bier. Bouncing into the air fence initially, riding supremely well. Pawlicki coming back at him, the two teams out in front. Really competitive. Now Bier is able to stamp his authority on the race. Doyle's into third place, but Kenneth Bier riding out of his skin in heat number 1.
What a move from Kenneth Bier, who was having to let go of the bike just a few moments ago to bail out.
Yeah.
The Danish flags are flying high all around this Vojens Speedway Centre because this is a great start for Denmark and for Kenneth Bier in the red helmet. He's done it the hard way. That is a super ride for Kenneth Bier of Denmark. Denmark.
Wow, that was something very special indeed, and he should, and rightly, he feels very proud with that. The home crowd are delighted. He had to work really hard. Pavlicki on Thursday got thrown out of a race for overriding, dangerous riding by this referee. I thought for a moment he might just squeeze him up again, but Kenneth Pierre's packed up on the back straight, but the points are in the bag. What an opening race that was. I sincerely hope that sets the tone for this afternoon's meeting. Smashing Speedway in the opening 2 laps there.
Yeah, and great guts and determination from Kenneth Pierre after his crash just a few moments ago. Ironic that the bike is packed up and he's just left it on the back straight to walk back to the pits. But fair play to him. What a ride. And yeah, it looked as though it was all getting tasty and bunching up in the early stages of Heat 1. And then drama came after the first lap as well.
Yeah, we see it again. The Pavlicki and Pierre get there together. It's Antonio Lindback gets relegated to the back. Pavlicki now thinks, right, I'm going to go to the inside. It was probably the right decision, but the speed in Pierre's bike was extraordinary. He was able to ride in the middle of the track, going the longer distance round the outside of the Polish rider. And Pavlicki has a look at him. There's no doubt that he is aware, and he's trying to squeeze him. Just enough racing room as he squeezes down the outside. There he's having a look, and that's when I thought Pavlicki may just slam the door shut, and there's just enough room. Very brave move there from Kenneth Pierre around the outside, and a super ride from him. Just relaying the information to Nicky Pedersen in the pits, and an excellent start to this World Cup final.
Heat number 2 coming up then with Denmark in the driving seat already. And we see Niels Christian Iversen coming in here for Denmark in the red helmet colour.
Well, we've got the 4 captains here. This will
it's
be
a
an
good lineup.
interesting. It is, yeah, everyone, yeah, but it's a big lineup, and it's going to be tough again. What an opening race that was.
Certainly was. Heat number 2. Andreas Jonsson off the inside in blue for Sweden. Gate 2 in red is Niels Christian Iversen for Denmark. Gate 3 is Chris Holder in yellow for Australia. And Mats Janowski, who's been in good form, he goes off the outside in white. What a lineup! Doesn't get much bigger than this, Kelvin.
No, it does not, and it's early in the meeting. It really could well be an indication how this meeting is going to pan out. Iversen has been up and down this year for his clubs. Hasn't had quite the consistency after coming back after that very nasty knee injury he sustained last year. So he's a proud man, he captains the team, and he rode brilliantly last year to snatch the victory away from Poland. Jonsson's on brand new engines here, tuned by Finn Jensen, who lives locally, and he'll be keeping his fingers crossed they work for him. And we've got a slight problem with the tapes. Sure they'll just be replaced, but Janowski on the outside also has been inspired this year. Brilliant performance from him, Nigel, in Prague in the last Grand Prix. Thought he might win it, in actual fact. Unbeaten after 5 rides.
Yeah, you do feel that Janowski is in prime position to go on and really be a threat in the World Individual Championship. There's still 9 rounds left, of course.
Yes.
Janowski could really kick on and be a major threat this year.
Wouldn't surprise me if he makes the top 3 this year. I think he has that quality. Chris Holder has been struggling a little bit with confidence after having some nasty injuries in the last couple of seasons. That has knocked his confidence, and he is building again. He's trying to get himself back to the level we saw him produce in 2012. So he's out of gate 3. 4 captains. This is a terrific race.
Yep, here we go. Heat number 2. Take tries, and it's a good one from Jonsson off the inside, now sweeping across in white. What a ride from Mats Janowski. They're wheel to wheel down the back straight again. This is tremendous Speedway. Jonsson goes wide. Is he going to take him out? Janowski has to hold his nerve. That is a heck of a ride from Andreas Jonsson of Sweden in blue, and the opening 2 heats have served up a treat. Here comes Iversen as well for Denmark.
Wow, what an opening lap that was. Janowski riding so hard, but Andreas Jonsson gave him no room at all and got himself to the front. Iversen missed the start, but has battled really hard to get into second place. Good stuff from him, and Chris Holder's out the back, but Andreas Jonsson on new engines here is looking very quick in front.
Here comes Janowski now challenging Iversen in second place. There is the battle for second going on. Oh, he's almost collected his back wheel. It's so tight down that back straight. Jonsson's gone. He's got the race in the bag. Second place is Iversen of Denmark. Janowski's gone wide now. Holds on for third with Chris Holder waiting to pounce, but more great speedway in heat number 2. We've only had a couple of races, but there's been plenty of talking points already. And what a ride from Andreas Jonsson to hold his nerve there for Team Sweden. That's the battle of the captains. That was something special. And Niels Christian Iversen coming through for Denmark as well. To confirm the result of heat number 2 then, it's a win for Andreas Jonsson in the blue helmet colour of Sweden. Niels Christian Iversen of Denmark was second, Mats Janowski of Poland was third. It was a terrific speedway race. Now here's how they stand. Denmark are on 5, Sweden are on 3, Poland also have 3, and Australia have 1 point from 2 rides so far. Brilliant speedway, Kel.
Yeah, great ride from AJ. He was under a lot of pressure here. We'll see it very clearly as they go away from the tapes. Iversen doesn't get away very well, but Jonsson on the inside has made a good start, and then round the outside, Maciej Janowski coming hard at him. Jonsson just has enough racing room there and squeezes him wide and just about gets the better of him as they complete the first lap. That allows Niels Christian Iversen then to get in. Janowski leaning all over him, a clash as they go down the back straight for the second time. Jonsson clears off out in front. He has tremendous speed and he's delighted with his opening ride and gets the Swedish team right and well and truly amongst the points. Big battle then between Janowski and Iversen for second and third. Great opening races here right from the get-go. This is going to be one hell of a speedway event.
Yep, very much so. Really looking forward to this one as well. The rest of the meeting, if it's anything to go by in the early stages,
well, it set the tone,
something special, yeah, no doubt. Here we go with heat number 3 with Denmark, and they have 3-time world champion Nicky Pedersen representing Denmark here. Heat number 3 it is then. Going off the inside, Nicky Pedersen for Denmark. Bartosz Smarslik for Poland off gate number 2 in white. Gate 3 in blue is Freddie Lindgren for Sweden. And off the outside in yellow, Nick Morris. Now this is going to be a real test for the youngster in a World Cup final off gate 4 in yellow.
It is, because we've seen so far it's quite tough to come from the outside. It's a long way and you've got to have the bike absolutely dialed in perfectly, but he has been very quick this season. Bartosz Smarslik on gate 2 alongside Nicky Pedersen. That could be a few fireworks going to the first corner there.
Every race, top quality lineup. Pedersen smooth as you like, away from the inside gate. He's made an absolute beauty. Now coming around in blue and on the inside as well. Smarslik all bunched up again down the back straight. Smarslik for Poland. But what about Freddie Lindgren in the blue helmet colour for the Swedish side here? And now Pedersen's coming up the inside, trying to challenge Smarslik. And now we see Pedersen relegated to the back with Morris coming through.
Oh, once again we saw brilliant speedway there. Freddie Lindgren coming in to replace Peter Ewan. He's doing a super job out in front. Got to say Bartosz Smarslik's coming on really hard in second place. Keep your eyes on Morris. Morris is fast. He's got lots of speed here. Tell you what, Smarslik's gone too wide. Morris is coming through into second place. What a ride from him.
And now Smarslik is going to try and repay the compliment. Lindgren with the lead. Down the back straight we go. Second place in yellow is Nick Morris. Third in white, Bartosz Smarslik, and Nicky Pedersen has gone from first to last. Who would have thought it? Freddie Lindgren for Sweden. And all of a sudden this World Cup final is wide open. After the opening 3 races, 3 heats of pure drama and high-octane drama as well, with every rider giving it absolutely everything, passing galore, and 3 great speedway races.
Wow, after we're back on Sunday afternoon, this is proper stuff, isn't it? It really is exciting right from the word go. Great speedway we were enjoying in the first 3 races, and it's nip and tuck, and the Swedes, who weren't favourites for this afternoon's meeting, they have come up with 2 fantastic rides, and the action behind has been sensational.
Yeah, and bear in mind, Pedersen was looking good early on. Sweden take the lead now. Would you believe it? Denmark 5, Poland 4, and Australia have 3 points. So what a start to this meeting.
Well, Freddie Lindgren comes from nowhere here in the first corner. He rides an absolute stormer. He's there, the bike just rips out of that first turn and he gets the better of the opposition as they go down the back straight. What an effort from him. Pedersen amongst it early on, but then hasn't got the right setup and gets relegated to the back. The young Australian rider here, Nick Morris, it's an excellent effort from him. He's tailed off on the opening lap and he has so much speed. He's able to carve through the traffic and he gets himself up into second place. A super ride from the 21-year-old, but got to say, Freddie Lindgren coming in for this final has ridden a stormer out in front. Morris AUC getting the better of Pedersen. Pedersen just didn't have the pace. Got beaten up in this race, in actual fact. I'm sure there'll be some concerns with that and a few tweaks to the bike, but 3 super opening races.
Wow, heat number 4 coming up. And it really
to live up to, isn't it?
It certainly has. It's been a fantastic start to the meeting, and maybe Denmark aren't going to be the dominant force that we thought they may be going into this meeting. That they have Peter Killerman here, and Killerman's certainly a rider we always enjoy watching. He's spectacular. He'll be on it for sure this afternoon. Heat 4 is coming up. Going off the inside in blue is Linus Sundström for Sweden. Peter Killerman goes off gate 2 in red for Denmark. Troy Batchelor gate 3 yellow for Australia. And Krzysztof Brzykowski goes off the outside in white.
Yeah, Brzykowski in for Hampel, rode well on Thursday, just dropping 1 point. Peter Kilderman is an interesting rider, very spectacular, can't wait to see him. Marek Szizlek there, just keeping an eye on proceedings, of course. The team manager from Poland, Troy Batchelor from the Australians. I'm sure they were pleased to see the ride from Morris in the previous race. Here we go.
Yep, it is heat number 4. Very nervy, edgy start there. Sundström's made a good one. But
Kilderman's down.
Yep, Killerman down in the first turn, and it's going to have to be called back. But my goodness, from gate number 4, Brzykowski swept across there.
Well, that's done Kilderman a favour. Kilderman missed it completely.
Yeah,
he was a bit edgy, as you rightly said, and he then missed it, and he penalised himself, and then got sort of out of shape going in the first corner. Could very well be all 4 back again. We'll see it again. Yeah, a nervy start from Batchelor as well. Brzykowski from the outside, super start from him. He'll be gutted that he sees the red lights come on with Kilderman bailing out in the first corner. He's okay.
Well, that's the point, though. Kilderman's bailed out. Now, I'm sure it'll be all 4, but has he bailed out?
Yeah,
he's caused a stoppage of the race.
His front wheel's taken away from him there.
Okay.
From Linus Sundström going in the first corner. That's what's happened.
So it's all 4?
Yeah, it's all 4 back. And Kilderman, you'll see in a minute now, Linus Sundström coming in there. As they turn, his front wheel just gets squeezed there, and he just gets unsettled, and down you go. It's no, for me, he has to be put back in. All 4 we're hearing.
All 4 is the decision, just to confirm that from the referee. All 4 riders back for the restart of heat number 4. Here we see Brzykowski coming across, sweeping across, and Killerman is the casualty. In heat number 4, the original staging. A little bit of sunshine beaming down on us now as well, we're pleased to say. Well, what a start to the meeting for Kenneth Bier in heat number 1, and he is with Steve Brandon.
Kenneth Bier, you had to pick yourself up off the deck to win heat 1, but a good result in the finish.
Yeah, it was good. You know, it's always hard when you just had a big crash, but I had to swap the bike. The other one had a problem with it, and my second bike broke down after the race, so working hard now to get it going for my next one.
Just a quick update on your body after the crash.
Just the knee is a bit knocked about. I think I just hit it hard on the ground, but it'll be all right.
And we've seen in the 3 races completed so far, this is a very open meeting today.
I always said that it's fine. I think it's going to be one of the toughest I've ever been into, and we got 4 teams. Everyone here can win races, so it's a good night. Just hope it goes our way.
And you guys, you top 4 of the top 5 teams in the world. These are the 4 countries that have only ever won the Speedway World Cup. It's really open.
I didn't know that, but that tells the story about tonight then.
Right. Thanks, Kenneth.
Yeah, he's won heat 1 twice, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And all credit to him. I wonder if he get paid twice, but maybe not. But all credit to him, because in very difficult conditions last night, he roared away from the tapes, and in difficult conditions again here, having hit the deck and brushed himself down, he was able to come up with a stunning ride in actual fact. And then Nicky Pedersen, that was a bit of a shock for me. Nicky Pedersen failing to score.
Well, he went from first to last, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't have the speed he needed, so a few tweaks to his kit will be required.
2 minutes are on. Yep.
2 minutes on, yeah.
So we're about ready to go. Troy Batchelor is out on the track now, preparing for action. 3 heats gone of 20. We have 20 races in the Speedway World Cup, up to heat 16, and then the last 4 heats are nominated rider races as well. You have the option of the tactical substitutes if you are 6 points behind the leading pack, and there is also the opportunity of a joker ride for one of your riders if you are 6 points behind. But at the moment it's so tight that, well, we may not be in that position for quite a while.
No, that's possible. Batchelor just changing his bike there. He came out with 2 bikes, he's jumped on the spare one and done a practice start and has decided that one feels a bit better than the first one. Can be, it's very different conditions than they had yesterday, and very different conditions than they had in practice on Friday. Practice on Friday was a baking hot day and the track was very slick. And now, after all the rain we had yesterday, conditions are entirely different. So no surprise to see riders just having to tweak their setup after the first round of races.
In number 4 it is then here in the Vojens Speedway Centre, South Denmark. Linus Sundström off the inside in red with Peter Killerman going off gate 2 in red for Denmark. Sundström in blue off the inside, Batchelor at gate 3 in yellow, and Krzysztof Brzkowski going off the outside in the white helmet colour. Heat number 4 it is then. Lindgren superb in his opening ride. Justifying the decision to bring him in. I think the marker was laid down last weekend anyway when they said Lindgren is earmarked for Vojens, and his first heat justified that. Now, after this race, every nation will have had one outing, and at the moment Sweden have 6, Denmark have 5. It's 6, 5, 4, 3, Poland and Australia in the pecking order as well. That's how tight it is. So here we go with heat number 4. Riders called to the tapes, referee ready to put the green light on here. Away from the start. Now, who's going to hit that first turn? It's a good one from the inside, but Brzkowski's gone square. And what a ride that was from Sundström to Sweden. Through comes Killerman. Well, it really is breathtaking speedway here. Batchelor has to get off the gas, slow the race up. The lead is with Killerman. Batchelor holds second place. Third in blue is Sundström. And at the back, somehow, is Brzkowski of Poland.
Wow, he stayed on. He did a wall of death in the first corner. It was remarkable. They were all falling over themselves as they went into turn 3 on the opening lap. Kilderman is riding a stormer here after hitting the deck in the first corner. On the initial staging, he looks very impressive out in front. Brzkowski's now got into 3rd place. That's a good effort from him. Troy Batchelor on the change of bike is looking pretty competitive in 2nd place, but the Danes have responded well here. Kilderman riding well.
Yeah, and the Danish flags again flying all around this Vojens Speedway Centre. Killerman, who will be in the Grand Prix in the absence of Jari Campbell, has just won heat number 4 superbly. Once again, passing galore in that particular race. We are seeing the meeting of the tournament so far. No major surprise with that, with it being the final, of course, but some fantastic speedway, and what an opening 4 heats we've had, and that's better for Denmark from Peter Killerman, who, as I just mentioned, is next in line to appear in the Grand Prix series following the unfortunate injury to Jari Campbell. Killerman, Batchelor, Brzkowski, the finishing order, with the Swede Sundström at the back. It means now that it's Sweden just go below Denmark, who move on to 8, Sweden 6, Australia 5, and Poland have 5. Very, very tight indeed.
Well, an excellent ride there from Peter Kilderman. He just got it wrong initially, but second time of asking, he made no mistake. It was very hectic right from the word go. Keep your eyes on Brzkowski on the outside. He has a real roller coaster of a ride here in the first corner, bounces off the fence. Peter Kilderman bounces off the fence as well, halfway down the back straight, and Brzkowski charging up the inside, had to kill all his speed to enable him to avoid other riders. We're seeing it again. Linus Sundström there on the inside forces Brzkowski very wide. Hard move there from the Swedish rider, but he fails to score. Batchelor coming in and gets himself into 2nd place. But Kilderman, what a spectacular opening ride for him in this World Cup. There's been 4 spectacular heats in actual fact. He's chuffed to bits with that. He's pumped right up, and it's nip and tuck. Surprising that the Poland haven't managed to actually win a heat in the first 4 races. I'm sure they will, but it is tough.
And when you bear in mind as well that after the opening 4 heats, Kelvin, Denmark lead the meeting, and arguably their main man, Nicky Pedersen, hasn't scored.
Well, it's a reflection on how strong they possibly will be here tonight if they really get all of them firing.
Well, there's no doubt that Wendy and Lee are proud of their son. When they saw him in action in the first race, there'll have been a bit of Morris dancing from the parents, and Nick is with Steve Brandon.
Nick Morris, your first ever race at Vojens after a practice on Friday. You enjoyed that?
Yeah, it's an awesome track. Practice felt pretty good and the track's good. Had a bit of rain last night, so I think it made it a bit better, and yeah, good first race.
A tough meeting in Prospect. The first 4 heats showed that. Do you notice a difference coming into Speedway at this level, the intensity?
Yeah, for sure. It's all more serious and everything, but it's where I want to be. It's not easy, but I'm working hard and I want to be here more often.
I think Mum and Dad would have enjoyed watching that as well, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I'd say so.
But just for you guys in the Australian camp, just pegged it back with no race wins yet, but 5 points right in the meeting.
Yeah, that's it. We just got to keep plugging away, not get too many last places, score as many as we can and see where we're at in the end.
Just a word for you. You were quite patient in the first corner in the first lap. Is that what you think you're going to all have to do all day? Just be patient, let a race develop?
Yeah, hopefully I can make a bit better start in the next few, but yeah, just try not to lock up too much and let the bike flow, and I had good speed, so.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Well, he's had good speed all year, and when a rider has patience, it's a rider that has confidence. And he's got a lot of that this season because he's scoring so many points.
Well, another man who had a good opening ride was Freddie Lindgren. He was superb, and he's now with Steve.
Freddie, a great first ride for you and a great first 4 for Sweden.
I think we're in contention. 2 heat wins by myself and AJ, and we're going to try and get everyone going and then try our hardest.
Track was very slick on Friday. It's definitely not slick out there today.
Actually, it's quite slick, to be honest. It's not that much dirt on it, even though we had a lot of rain yesterday. But also we have to keep an eye on the track, how it develops during the evening.
It is the World Team Cup. It's all about that. You've just had a meeting as a team. What have you discussed and what have you said to each other?
Mainly about the setup on the bikes. Linus was a bit slow midway through the straights, and is really trying to help each other with that.
One of the things we noticed in the first 4 heats, it's not always all about the first corner at Vojens. You didn't make it, but you made a good back straight.
Yeah, I built up a lot of speed on that back straight and was able to pass them coming into turn 3. And I was really happy with my ride. I was a little bit tense and nervous before the first heat. Feel a bit better now.
Long way to go. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is a big night, so you know it's no question the riders will be nervous before their opening rides, and winning a ride like Freddie did there, he'll be really pleased with that. It's very, very close indeed. 4 brilliant heats.
Yeah, and as I mentioned there, you know, Denmark lead the meeting, but there's a big fat 0 by the name of Nicky Pedersen.
And I think that's ominous, because if they get them all going, then they could well run away with it, but then the Joker will come into play, and all sorts of things can happen. The Polish team a little bit off in their first 4 heats. They didn't really quite get the speed, quite get the setup they required. Interesting, Freddie Lindgren said it was quite slick. They did actually put a lot of granite on the top surface, and it probably, you were rolling on that a bit initially, that not quite getting the drive you want. It may well get grippier in the next 4 heats, but time will tell. But very, very tight, and we could be in for quite a treat this afternoon.
Well, if the first 4 heats are anything to go by, we are, for sure. And we have 2 race winners coming up here in Heat 5. We see Kenneth Pierre here in red, the Danish rider. We also have Andreas Jonsson, who I thought was terrific in his opening ride, winning that one. But yeah, it's a promising start.
It is, and as you rightly say, there are 2 race winners. Troy Batchelor is coming out for back-to-back heats. He was in Heat 4. We're up to Heat 5. He's going from Gate 2 this time. Just desperately trying to find the key to get off the start, but Schmarslik on the inside, he'll be exciting as well in the first corner.
Here we go then, heat number 5 coming up here at the Vojens Speedway Centre. It's the grand final of the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup. Here we go with the 5th race of the afternoon then, and if the first 4 heats are anything to go by, we are in for an absolute treat here. Bartosz Schmarslik off the inside in white for Poland. Gate 2 is Troy Batchelor in yellow for Australia. Andreas Jonsson, superb ride in his opener. He goes off Gate 3 in blue. Kenneth Pierre off the outside in yellow, in red. The sun is starting to shine in Vojens.
Again.
Yeah,
we had sunshine on Thursday, didn't we?
It was a lovely
It
evening,
was a
wasn't it?
gorgeous day. and a beautiful evening as well, and now all of a sudden we've got ideal conditions. The two boys in gates 3 and 4 unbeaten after their opening rides. That could be quite a tussle.
Certainly could. Here we go with heat number 5. Oh, what a start from Jonsson from 3, but what about that from Troy Batchelor as well in yellow? Now Jonsson will try and come around the outside. Bierre's trying to sneak through, but there's no way through, and Jonsson now is going to go high into the dirt. Batchelor holds the inside line, but Jonsson's got the speed. What a move from Andreas Jonsson. Troy Batchelor is second, Bierre is on the pace, still having a go, and the man at the back is Bartosz Marslik for Poland.
Well, Andreas Jonsson's flying this afternoon. Absolutely brilliant there. Took no time at all to get to the front. Kenneth Bierre missed the start completely. He's got speed, but was very late in dropping the clutch when he went away from gate 4. Schmarslik's having problems out the back with some water going down and he's pulling tear-offs, but no such problems for the Swedish team. The captain is riding a stormer. Kenneth Bierre trying to work out how he can get past Troy Batchelor.
Well, he's trying to lock up and go on the inside. Now I think he's really going to have to go high and wide as Batchelor holds the inside line. It's a great ride from Jonsson. 2 rides, 2 wins for Andreas Jonsson. Troy Batchelor picks up second place there with Bierre third and Smarslik trailing at the back on that occasion. Maybe this World Cup final could be one meeting too far for the Polish youngsters. But we're level pegging now between Denmark and Sweden at the top of the leaderboard after that result because of Andreas Jonsson's ride, and my goodness me, he is absolutely flying today. Super ride from Jonsson, with Troy Batchelor in second place for Australia, and Kenneth Bierre was third on that occasion. So this is how it looks. It's level, Sweden and Denmark 9 apiece, Australia 7, Poland on 5, and nobody that far adrift to use the tactical as of yet.
No, and a surprise package is Sweden. They came into this meeting probably looking, a lot of people fancied them to come fourth here this afternoon, but on the evidence of the opening races, they are quite clearly determined to do an awful lot better there than that. They won a medal, and they probably won a gold medal. Andreas Jonsson, he has got speed and tons of it. He won in the end here very comfortably. Initially, Batchelor's made a good start round the inside. Bjerg just didn't make a start here and got caught in traffic. They'd watered just briefly before this heat, and he just found it very difficult to get the better of the opposition. Andreas Jonsson, though, how fast was he in front? Looking at the start again, comfortably in front initially was Batchelor, but that man there, Andreas Jonsson, on brand new engines from Finn Jensen, who lives very locally, knows this part of the world very, very well indeed.
It's working a treat.
It is indeed. Yeah, he might well be paying the bill now.
Just a bit, yeah. Heat number 6 coming up, and we're level between the Scandinavian rivals Denmark and Sweden. We remind you, Denmark straight through to the World Cup final as the host nation. And heat number 6 coming up. Niels Christian Iversen is the Danish man going off the inside gate here, and the Swedish rider going from the outside is Antonio Lindback. So let's just confirm the grid for you. Going off the inside is Niels Christian Iversen. Then it's Krzysztof Brzykowski, who's always good to watch. Nick Morris goes off gate 3 in yellow, a fine opening ride from him. And Antonio Lindback in blue for Sweden. Should be a good one, Kel.
It should well be, and when you look back at the history of the World Cup, Sweden have won the World Cup here. It's a long time ago. Back in 2003, they won the World Cup here in Vojens, so they do know how to do it, and they're well and truly in the hunt for another gold medal here this afternoon. Iversen on the inside didn't make a very good start in his opening ride. He'll be looking for better.
Yep, here we go. Heat number 6, and going into that first turn, Iversen is there, all bunched up at the back once again here, but Iversen has the lead. Brzykowski now is going to try hard to come through for Poland. Lindback is third in blue and has gone high and wide, and I thought he'd lost a bit of ground, but Morris couldn't pounce, and Iversen looking good, but under pressure from Brzykowski.
He is. He makes a much better start from the inside, and probably has made a few tweaks to the bike because he looks much more competitive this time. Brzykowski enjoying a good finals, riding well in second. Morris, who rode so well in his opening ride, just didn't quite get the start he was looking for. Lindback is a threat. Lindback beginning to wind it on in third place. Buskowski there pulling a bit of a locker. Certainly it's getting very tight between second and third. Morris ready to pounce. Race could come alive in the last lap.
Yep, the lead is with Iversen and Lindback now really pushing Buskowski hard. What a move from Antonio Lindback into turn 3. That is spectacular stuff from him. Niels Christian Iversen with the win, but that's a big second place for Antonio Lindback as well, because it keeps Sweden just a point behind. Wonderful Speedway once again. Lindback, you've got to take your hat off to him. Magnificent ride to just come round Buskowski. But Niels Christian Iversen for Denmark, fantastic stuff. But again, you cannot take your eyes off any of them.
No, you can't. And Lindback, who got out of shape early in the race, rode an absolutely brilliant heat there. Never gave in, just kept coming at Buskowski hard and finally got the better of him and really rode a super strong race. Sweden there, keeping just in touch, just a point behind.
Denmark have the lead then by a point over Sweden. Australia 7. Poland now are in tactical territory. They're 6 behind the leading pack, who are Denmark. So Poland are now in a position where they can make a tactical substitute and or indeed the joker for double points. Coming up here is Przemysław Pawlicki for the Poles in Heat 7.
Yeah, good ride here from Niels Christian Iversen. Makes a good start from the inside. Buskowski there chopping to the inside as they come off the first corner, but hasn't got the speed. Track is riding pretty slick. Early on there, you see Lindback on the outside gets it wrong, but he's able to recover, and Buskowski hasn't got speed. The Poles haven't got the right setup in their opening rides. And Lindback is able to get the better of the Polish rider right at the end of the race, and that's a very important second place. It keeps the pressure on the Danish team, and all credit to Lindback. He failed to score in his opening ride, and he's come up with a very strong second heat to pick up points. And yeah, super stuff from Iversen. 5 points to his name from his first 2 rides, and the Poles and the Danes rather are looking pretty strong. And this man, if he gets going, could be tough for the opposition.
Yep, failed to score in his opening ride, Nicky Pedersen, so can he bounce back here in Heat 7? Easily to get confused between the Poles and the Danes. Their race suits are very similar. Perhaps they ought to do like football, have a home and away strip. But anyway, here we go, Heat 7. Chris Holder off the inside in yellow for Australia. Przemek Pawlicki, gate 2 for Poland. Linus Sundström for Sweden, gate 3 in blue. And Nicky Pedersen going off the outside in red for Denmark.
Well, 3 riders here failed to score first time out, and they'll be desperate again amongst the points this time. Holder didn't
2 world champions.
Yeah, didn't do so good. Even surprisingly, Nicky Pedersen didn't, and Linus Sundström failed to score. So Pawlicki favourite after the first rides. He's coming out of gate 2.
Here we go, Heat 7. Gate 4's not really been preferable so far, and Pedersen hasn't made that first turn. Charging hard now, Pedersen is going to have to go round the outside. Oh, no room, Holder comes through. But just as Sundström went on one wheel there, that blocked the way through for Nicky Pedersen now. The lead is with Holder. Pawlicki holds second. Pedersen right through on Sundström, really working hard. Now he's going wide, Pedersen, and he's going to hunt down Pawlicki. He's going to come on the inside.
Oh, it's going to go down. Big decision for the referee. Big decision. Pedersen desperate to get amongst the points, swapped to the inside. There's no doubt there was a little bit of contact. Pedersen, will he be excluded for that? Tough move from Nicky going into turn 3. Second time around, Holder out in front. Pawlicki buried in the fence. Oh, I think Pedersen might be excluded for that.
Well, he's not helped himself with his reaction, has he, as a rider's down hurt, but quite clearly Nicky was wound up after what happened earlier in the race. There we see Pawlicki has gone across the line of Nicky, and that has quite clearly wound Nicky up. Is Pawlicki looking for it? Is he looking for it? What is the referee's decision going to be now?
Well,
the decision has to be, has Nicky Pedersen caused Pawlicki to fall? Who has caused the stoppage of the race? That is what the referee has to decide.
On that evidence there, Nicky Pedersen has taken down Pawlicki. and I think Nicky Pedersen could be in danger of being excluded here. I can understand his frustrations because Pavlicki has gone right across in front of him down the back straight, but he has run in really hard underneath him, and there was some contact as they went into turn 3 that unsettled Pavlicki to cause him to go down. Is that a red exclusion light? Yes, it is. Pedersen fails to score from his first 2 rides.
Apologies if you saw or heard some language there that may offend you, but Nicky Pedersen is disqualified from heat number 7. There will be 3 riders only.
It's a contentious decision, but one probably that's the right one. I know Pavlicki rode right across in front of him, but he was in front of him. And then it was a last-minute move for Pedersen to charge up the inside, but he collects him on the way through.
And above and beyond this, let's hope Pavlicki is going to be okay, because he's still down.
Difficult there because Pedersen's got a lot of speed down the back straight.
Nicky will argue there was a gap, Kelvin. There's the gap.
Yeah.
Not much of a gap.
No.
I'm just playing devil's advocate again.
It's not ideal because obviously Pavlicki's gone across to the fence and Pedersen's, you know, immediately there, changes back to the inside and feels he can get the better of him, but he runs out of room and takes the rider with him. And, you know, he'll be very, very frustrated. But there is contact and Pavlicki is coming back across and down he goes.
Pavlicki now is walking back to the pits, we're pleased to report. Fingers crossed that he'll be fit enough to take his place. I'm sure he will.
Not sure that did Nicky Pedersen any favours by sort of making a gesture toward the rider who was buried under the air fence.
Making a gesture like that, in my view, and you know, limited knowledge of course, it makes it appear that, you know, with a gesture like that, Kelvin, does it not make it appear from Nicky's point of view that he did that deliberately because he's pointed at him as if to say you were out of order?
Well, you might be right. The referee may have interpreted it that way. But the bottom line is that Nicky Pedersen has had a tough start to tonight. He has had 2 rides and he hasn't got any points to his name. And that's keeping Sweden particularly right in the hunt.
Yep, so 3 riders only for heat number 7 here in Vojens. It's been a dramatic opening to the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup. It really has, and looking forward to the remainder of the meeting. Good crowd in this afternoon as well. Good crowd here this afternoon with the weather certainly showing a big improvement. And yep. So heat number 7 will be rerun with 3 riders only.
Yeah, 3 riders only, not ideal. We've got something wrong with the clock, which is unfortunate for the countdown, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. Contact going into turn 3 and Pavlicki going down and Nicky Pedersen being excluded. Pedersen not enjoying a great World Cup. He's got 3 rides left, of course, so I'm sure he'll be desperately keen to get amongst it. He hadn't made a good start. He clearly has got some issues there. He's normally very quick away from the tapes, but his first 2 rides here this afternoon, he hasn't been able to really get in it. Some sort of concern here. We've got a delay on the restaging of this heat. Possibly the 2-minute clock is not working.
Well, it's obviously the race director as well, just giving a little bit of time for Pavlicki to be ready for the restart. Just seeing it again here. It is a contentious one, that's for sure. Riders coming out for the restart then of heat number 7.
Yeah, well, Chris Holder was in front. He's the first rider to emerge, and he'll be hoping he can make the sort of start again because he was out in front and looking like he could well pick up his first points. As we said before the original staging of this heat, 3 of them failed to score first time out, and Pavlicki had been amongst the points, but Holder hadn't. Chris had made a really good getaway. He's just doing a bit of gardening there on the inside gate, looking for a fresh patch, a real good opportunity to get himself to the first corner, giving himself every chance anyway. Countdown on, just 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. Nina Sundström coming out. This is a big beating for Lena Sundström. I think it's probably the first
tough one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, very tough. He was a bit out of shape at times in that race before it was called to a halt prematurely. He's digging around gate 3. Pavlicki coming back out.
It does mean that it's an open goal.
He's changed his bike, yeah.
It does mean that it's an open goal because for Sweden, they know that they're going to score a point here if they just do the 4 laps. Lena Sundström. Denmark are the leaders by a point, but Nicky Pedersen is not in this race. So from that point of view, it is an open goal. Denmark have 12, Sweden have 11, Australia 8 and Poland have 5. So Holder, Pavlicki, Sundström across the grid.
Yes.
No Nicky Pedersen across the outside. So a real opportunity for the other 3 nations to bunch up as well with Denmark and make it even tighter this World Cup final.
Absolutely, and Lena Sundström has got an opportunity to get the Swedes in front here. I think he's going to have to ride really well to do that because Holder will be very keen to make a start. Pavlicki is a hard charger. He puts himself about out there. So Lena Sundström, he's going to have to come up with a really big start.
Heat number 7 it is then. Second time of asking. It's been a sensational meeting so far. Holder's made a good one off the inside this time for Australia. Now Sundström goes high and wide as Pavlicki tries the inside line here, and Pavlicki has got enough speed to come with Sundström now.
Takes him down!
A replica, an absolute replica, and Pavlicki is lying down now.
Well,
can't quite believe what's happened here.
Exactly the same situation. Yeah. And Lena Sundström, if the referee has consistency, will be excluded.
Well, we shall see.
It's the same move, isn't it?
It's exactly the same part of the track. Sundström is lying flat out. Now he's sat up, we're pleased to say.
No, it's Pavlicki. Pavlicki's gone down.
Did I say Sundström?
Yeah,
Oh,
Pavlicki's gone down. And it was Sundström that came charging up the inside. You won't ever lie down, Nigel.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
He's come in there and he's taken him down.
It's the same part of the track. Sundström's got to go.
He will be.
Yep.
We'll be down to 2.
If the referee is being consistent
well,
here...
that's a shame because the Swedes shouldn't be throwing points away like that. We were talking about patience early on. He needed some there.
Yeah, well, drama. Yeah, just another twist to what is a fascinating World Cup final.
Well,
and right now we have no idea who's going to win it.
No, we don't. And Pavlicki probably can't quite believe it. Sitting up on his backside once again. He'd changed bikes for that one. He's going to need his 3rd bike if that one's taken is quite heavily damaged. It is
Sundström. He's gone.
Yeah,
he's gone.
No surprise, really.
And that is foolish.
It is
because Sweden will not score and they will stay behind Denmark.
1 point could be the difference between winning and losing. And as I say, he needed some composure and patience there because he may have been able to get the better of Pavlicki, but he made that sort of late lunge at the back of the end of the back straight, and he's collected Pavlicki on the way through, and the referee excluded Pedersen in a similar incident, and there would have been all hell would have let loose in the paddock if he hadn't have excluded Lena Sundström.
Yep, very much so. So it's 12-11, Denmark, Sweden, but the 2 nations behind them, Australia on 8 and Poland on 5, have a free hit here, if you like. You want to call it that?
Well, Chris Holder can't believe it. He's made 2 fantastic starts. He's been in front and twice the red lights have come on. It's so frustrating when you're doing nicely. Yep. Swedes just having a chat. They're doing well here. They're surprising a few. And Lena Sundström there, maybe just showing a bit of inexperience there. Just needed to be a little bit more patient, really, that's the word. And if he'd just given himself another lap, he might well have been able to pass Pavlicki anyway, but that's easier here than down there, that's for sure.
Yep. So as it stands, Poland have 6, Australia have 7, and Denmark have 12, Sweden have 11, and Przemek Pavlicki is walking gingerly back to the pits, back on the ground for a 2nd time. Exactly the same situation. The gap was there. And Mark Lemon, the Australian team manager, he is with Steve Brandon.
Mark Lemon, the commentators have described this as a free hit for Australia, but Chris has got to finish this off now.
Yeah, I mean, Pavlicki's he's done nothing wrong out there and he's getting knocked about a bit, so he'll come out pretty fired up, I imagine. But had a quick word with Chris then, so not to make any mistakes again. 2 great starts. He's sort of back in the game, and yeah, this will pull us right back in where we want to be.
We'll give you your first race win of the afternoon as well. That'll help the other guys' confidence, give them something to shoot at.
Yeah, they're working hard behind the scenes there, and it's sort of like slowly dialing it in. Obviously, it would have been nice to get off to a better start, but things have changed. Obviously, you know, the practice we had on Friday to today's racetrack is a lot different, but we're being really honest in the pits down there, and they're working hard, so I think this is doable.
I can see you looking over my shoulder up and down the pit lane. You guys are just behind us. How important as a team manager is it to be up and down that pit lane, communicating changes people are making, what Chris has done with his bike, what Troy may have done in his last ride?
It's just been another set of eyes and ears, I think, and whether you're a team manager or a mechanic or just a loyal friend. But it's a collective, it's a group thing. We're all working for the same goal right now, and we just got to remain focused, and hopefully we've had a slice of luck. We've got to capitalise on it now.
And for Australia, 2002 is a long time to have not won the World Cup.
You're telling me. It's some of the boys probably at home right now saying, it's well overdue, and we're thinking the same. But like I said, there's a real honesty in the camp. We know that it's been a long time, and it's time.
Long way to go. Thank you.
All right, cheers.
Yeah, they've had some fantastic teams down the years, Australia, and it is a surprise that they haven't managed to win since the first 2 World Cups. And got to say that they've come up against some pretty inspirational Polish teams at times, with Golob sort of turning meetings upside down and finding it very difficult. In actual fact, if I remember a meeting at Gorzów, I think probably Australia and Poland, it was an outstanding event, and Golob that day did turn it in the Poles' favour with a great couple of rides.
It certainly did.
Holder back at tape tonight. Furious work going on for Pavlicki. 2 minutes are on, but no surprise, his equipment must be really knocked about after his 2 falls. Yeah.
He's probably wondering what on earth is going on.
Track's gone really slick with the granite they put on.
It's going to get very dusty as well.
It's sunny now, it's lovely, but there's a stiff breeze as well. And with this delay, the track is dried remarkably quickly. So it's going to be a very different type of conditions now than when they originally got going in this race. It could do with some water now, the track.
2 riders only, Przemek Pawlicki in white and Chris Holder in yellow. That is the way it's shaping up here.
Do you know, I've just said I think the track could do with some water.
Yeah, they won't do it until after Heat 8.
Did
no, it didn't. But they won't do it until after Heat 8, will they, Kelv? Because they go in 4 heat cycles.
Absolutely, yeah. It's right. There's 2 of them. Both of them have got the same conditions.
2 riders only. It's like a good old-fashioned match race here in Vojens off the inside 2 gates. Chris Holder in yellow and Przemek Pawlicki in white. And then there were 2. With just a reminder that Denmark lead the meeting on 12 and Sweden on 11. And when Nicky Pedersen was excluded, there was a real opportunity for the Swedes, but now they know that they will emerge from Heat 7 still leaders of the meeting, even though they will not score a point. And that has got to be a small crumb of comfort, Kel.
Absolutely, they must look at it that way. They can't allow themselves to get downhearted. This is a great opportunity for the Aussies, though, with a heat win here.
Heat 7 it is, and who is going to get into that first turn? Pawlicki has got the drop on Chris Holder, and the Pole has that advantage now, and he's stretching clear down the back straight in white. Don't try the inside run here, Chris. Not this time, surely. But anyway, Pawlicki holds the line. Chris Holder is second, going into lap 2. This would put Poland onto 9 points, level. Oh dear me.
Pawlicki is wild. He's wild. He's so young. He's looking all over the place. He's nervous. He's looking behind him. I don't like that. Very wide indeed. Holder coming at him, showing good speed. Pawlicki made a really good start out of gate 2. He's gone very wide indeed. Holder up the inside. Proper match race here.
Yeah, Holder's really winding it on, having a proper go here. He's going wide now. Pawlicki holds the line. These 2 are riders who are going to be around at the top of the world stage for a number of years for sure. Pawlicki is spectacular.
Oh, he is. He's wild on the bike.
Goes on 1 wheel into turns 3 and 4. He'll just be relieved to get this race done, won't he?
Why'd you go? Oh, how on earth did he manage to win that race? He did everything to throw it away.
Wow.
He's just so nervous on the bike. He just needed to calm down. He picks up a valuable win. Fair play to him, but he made hard work of it.
It is a big win for Poland, and for Australia, they are still without a race winner. And that was evident from Chris Holder's reaction as he went over the finish line, frustrated quite clearly after initially leading the race. And now we see Poland and Australia level on 9 points points apiece. We've had 7 races here in Vojens this afternoon. Pavlitsky 3, Holder 2, only 2 finishers in heat number 7. 2 minutes is on already for heat number 8. They want to get on with it.
Well, it was a long delay, wasn't it?
Denmark 12, Sweden 11, and Poland and Australia level on 9 apiece. 3 points separate the 4 teams here this afternoon.
Yeah, awfully tight indeed. Pavlicki, don't know if I don't like this ride, actually, because he looks behind him a lot. He's riding defence right from the word go. Great start, third time of asking. Holder will be frustrated with that. But then he rides all over the track, looking behind him, on the fence, all over the place, and he wins the race. But crikey, he did it the hard way, even though really and truly he could have won quite comfortably. Holder has got speed in that bike, but can't find a way through. And Pavlicki picks up a very useful win. Maybe he'll just settle a little bit after managing to pick up that first win for the Poles, because they've had a tough start to this afternoon's meeting.
Yeah, heat number 8 coming up next with Kilderman and Lindgren, who won their opening rides. Janowski for the Poles coming up here with Doyle for Australia. So it's another fantastic lineup. But Przemek Pawlicki has been in the wars.
Yeah.
But he won the race. But yeah, if you're coaching any youngsters, Kelvin, you don't, you have to tell them not to keep looking behind them, I assume.
I don't like it. And back in the day, the Poles used to do it all the time. And Pawlicki's a little bit of a throwback to that. And it's not something that you would recommend.
Janowski off the inside, Doyle off 2, Killerman going off 3. Freddie Lindgren going off the outside in blue. He was fantastic in his opening ride. Lindgren seems a long time ago now, as we build up to heat number 8. After this race, every rider, every nation, I should say, will have completed 2 rides. And it is very, very tight for the Ovi Funding Trophy. Who is going to be crowned world champions this afternoon? Heat number 8, here we go. Going into that first turn, it's a good one from Janowski, and here comes Lindgren around the outside, and it's all bunched up into that first turn, but Janowski holds his nerve superbly. Lindgren now tries the inside line. Watch out for Killerman in red. He's going to try the sweep around the outside to try and come past Doyle. They're all bunched up, and the lead is with Janowski. Lindgren up the inside, he's going to take him out.
Fabulous move from Freddie Lindgren, right on the inside, gets a little bit of extra drive, fires himself to the front. Doyle gets the better of Kilderman. Kilderman back in the 3rd place. Janowski now up the inside, repaying the compliment. Unbelievable speedway here. Now Kilderman trying to get amongst it. What a ride from Janowski as he hits the front.
Janowski there now, coming in towards the last lap. Lindgren is wound up and wants to get him back. Killerman holds 3rd spot right now. The lead, though, is with Mats Janowski. This would put them on to 12 points. Australia would be on 11, and Denmark would be on 13. It's bunched up once again. Janowski wins a sensational race of Speedway from Freddie Lindgren. No quarter asked or given. That was superb. And, well, this World Cup final has more dramatic twists and turns to come for sure. 12 races to decide now who are going to be crowned world champions this afternoon. But Lindgren and Janowski getting stuck in. Kilderman had to work hard to get the better of Doyle as well. It was all happening.
Oh, it was breathless stuff.
They were all in it.
They were all in it, and it was quite extraordinary, because there were some moves there that were out of the top drawer. Janowski, brilliant.
Janowski, Lindgren, Kilderman, Doyle, all busting some moves on the Speedway track. And now it's Sweden and Denmark level on 13, Poland 12, and Australia have 9.
That was entertainment. That was proper stuff. Well, Janowski bounces back in fine style here, because the Poles in their first 4 heats really struggled. And now they've won 2 back-to-back races, and they'll feel a lot more confident now. The tapes are up, and Janowski on the inside makes a good start. Freddie Lindgren, I tell you what, he rides brilliantly here, because second time around he makes a move in the first corner right on the inside that pays massive dividends. We're looking at the first corner again, but we need to look at the second time around, because Lindgren chops to the inside. He gets his front wheel right over the inside. This is later in the race now, with Janowski actually replaying the compliment. We don't see the move from Lindgren. Peter Kilderman now coming into 3rd place, but it was this... Now this is later in the race, unfortunately, with Janowski coming back into the picture and just keeping an eye on it. It was a tough move from the Polish rider, but a fair one. And Janowski gets himself to the front, and the Poles there have won 2 races back to back, but Lindgren initially, he was a catalyst with that great move second time around up the inside, and that got Janowski thinking along the same lines as well. And we have witnessed 8 heats so far, and there's been all sorts of drama, but fundamentally the action has been outstanding.
Well, it's been something special, and the team standings now, this just adds to it, and the action is just going to get more and more fierce. We have Denmark and Sweden on 13. Yeah, well, can it? That's the question. 12 points to Poland and 9 to Australia, so 4 points separate the 4 teams with 12 heats to go.
Yes, it's been outstanding so far, and it really isn't very much in it at all. With anybody could win this still. Marek Cieślak having a real strong word with his troops. They've won a couple of races. They'll be feeling very much better about their chances. They're just 1 point behind the leaders.
Yeah, and let's hear from Niels Christian Iversen now, the Danish skipper with Steve Brandon.
Niels, 13, 12-9. It's as tough as everyone thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's really close at the moment. But, you know, I think it's going to be tough all the way through, and I think it's going to be really close in the end as well.
You guys have just had a team meeting. What are you saying to the people who aren't maybe scoring as much as they were? Nicky's struggling a little bit today.
Yeah, he's a bit unlucky getting excluded in the last one, but his points will come now, and then it looks better.
And how much working together about talking about the track, because the delays are meaning it's drying out, slicking off?
Yeah, the track is surprisingly really dry compared to how much rain it had last night, but yeah, it's riding all right, so we just have to adjust it.
Long way to go, thank you.
Yeah, a lot of positive vibes coming out of Niels Christian Iversen. He feels sure that Nicky Pedersen will get amongst the points in his next couple of rides, and they'll feel that they've got an opportunity to really stretch the lead.
Andreas Jonsson has been right on form today. He is with Steve Brandon.
Andreas Jonsson, 2 rides, 2 wins for you. You're on 13 as a team. You're right in the meeting.
Yeah, you know, you can see there is ups and downs every heat, you know, from we're winning one heat, last in the second, and it's really like everybody scoring points from each other, and it just as how a World Championship final should be, you know.
Lots of experience for yourself, Anton and Freddie, but keeping Linus in the meeting is going to be important.
Yeah, but they just have a harder start than we did, you know, and struggle a bit with the setup in the beginning, but I think they're going to get going now, and going to do our best to score as many points as we can.
Back to work, thank you.
Well, great meeting for Andreas Jonsson, and the Swedish team have surpassed themselves so far. Exactly the same scoreline for him as it is for Nicky Pedersen. So, you know, a team that can get all 4 riders getting amongst the points in the next 4 heats could well get themselves into the lead, but it's anybody's event here. This really is wide open, and it's terrifically exciting.
Maciej Janowski is with Steve Brandon.
Maciej, that was a very important win for Poland.
Yeah, of course, you know, every win is very important, and the most important is to don't bring 0 to the pit. So we all try very hard, but it's really tough.
I don't think I've ever seen as many riders around a bike when Šimek fell off the second time. You're working well as a team.
Yeah, you know, we all together, so all mechanics work together. We speak about the setups, about everything. So yeah, we try to do whatever we can.
A long way to go today. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, of course. You know, we must stay focused and keep every point what we can.
Thank you.
Yeah, good comeback from the Polish team, because they had struggled in the early heats, and 2 heat wins, and their points total looks entirely different. They're only a point behind the leaders, and they're a young, inexperienced team, but there's no question that they have the speed, and once they settle, maybe the confidence will come from them, and they will keep the pressure on the Scandinavian teams.
What I'm thinking really, Kelvin, is that if Nicky Pedersen does start getting the points, as you would fully expect him to do, then you would expect Denmark to just prove too strong.
They will be favourites, yes, they will, but looking at the effort coming from riders, it's not going to be a comfortable win. I do believe it will be a nip and tuck for a long period of time,
That'd be good.
Yeah, I absolutely. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. This is we expected it to be special, and it's living up to that right now. It's been a really, really good opening 8 heats, and I'm really looking forward to the next 4. That's for sure.
Here we go then, heat number 9, a meeting beautifully poised. Heat number 9 it is then, and across the grid here we look at the lineup. Freddie Lindgren going off the inside in blue, Kenneth Pierre gate 2 in red for Denmark, Krzysztof Brzykowski gate 3 in white for Poland, and Chris Holder going off the outside in yellow for Team Australia. Heat number 9 is coming up then here, and it is beautifully poised. The standard of the racing is well worthy of the World Cup final, but also the close scoreline makes it even more interesting as well. So it's set up beautifully. 12 heats to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chris Holder on the outside will be really desperate to win a race because, you know, 3 times he had to make the start in his previous ride, and the 3rd time he just got out-battled to the first corner. He goes from the outside. Brzykowski, he'll be fired up now. The Poles have won a couple of rides. Pierre rode brilliantly in his opening ride and then struggled a little bit last time.
Here we go, heat number 9 it is then. Good start from Lindgren off the inside. What can Holder do? He sweeps across the number 1 for Team Australia, and now down the back straight. Holder pulls clear. That's superb from him. And here comes the man in white, Krzysztof Brzykowski. Lindgren is going to try the inside. Oh, my goodness me! How did they avoid each other? More to the point, how did Brzykowski avoid Lindgren? Had to take avoiding action. Now Lindgren down the back straight, and Pierre is at the back, but they're literally throwing the bites at each other here.
That was ruthless from Freddie Lindgren. How on earth he didn't collect Brzykowski on the way through it was a miracle. Brilliant from Holder. He'll be so frustrated last time. He made a magic start from the outside. He's riding a stormer. Lindgren and Brzykowski, what a battle for 2nd and 3rd. Not much between them, and Pierre out the back. Brilliant out in front, Holder though.
Into the last lap we go. Every point absolutely vital. This is going to be a great win for Australia, for Chris Holder, and move them on to 12 points. That is going to be superb for them. And Brzykowski holds out for 2nd spot for the Polish side. That moves them on to 14. And now Denmark have been dislodged as leaders of this meeting because Kenneth Pierre finished at the back there. So with Lindgren just finishing 2nd there for the Swedes in heat number 9, well, it really is warming up quite nicely as we build up to the next one, heat number 10. It's confirmation of the result here. Holder Brzykowski, Lindgren gets a point, and Kenneth Pierre at the back. That puts them on 13. Sweden are on 14 now. Oh, we see Poland on 14 as well. Where on earth have they come from? And Australia now on 12. So this World Cup final, after 9 heats, sees 2 points separating 4 nations.
Staggering, and you were just talking about Nicky Pedersen getting going. Well, they need Kenneth Pierre to get going now because he won his opening ride, but he's only then got 1 point from his next 2. So this meeting is going to be very tough to win and very difficult to predict. What a ride from Holder. Gate 4 has been really a graveyard, and he makes a great start, and brilliant. But I tell you what, this move from Freddie Lindgren is, well, it's outrageous, really. How
referee has issued a warning to Lindgren.
Well, I can understand it because he could have easily just cleaned up Brzykowski. Tell you what, it was so close. And Holder, though, he'll be really pleased with this. This is the sort of ride he needs to regain that confidence. But here, Freddie Lindgren riding straight across in front of Brzykowski. That could have been very ugly indeed. Great battle between those 2 boys. Ensues with the Polish rider, to his credit, regains his composure and comes through into 2nd place. But Chris Holder wins comfortably and showed great speed.
That was a great ride from Holder as well, from a tricky gate number 4.
Yes.
It's worked a treat for him, and he looked really quick there as well. Missed all the fun and games behind him. So
pleased about that.
Yeah, it was crazy, wasn't it? And
it was.
Just to reiterate, Freddie Lindgren has been warned about dangerous riding after that manoeuvre in heat number 9. We build up to heat number 10 now. It's only going to get more and more spectacular if that's possible, I'm sure. Doyle off the inside, Sundström off 2, Schmarslik off 3 for Poland, and Iversen going off the outside. Just 2 points separate the 4 nations. It's Sweden and Poland who are level, a point ahead of Denmark, 2 ahead of Australia.
Well, in heat 6, Poland was 6 points down. Now they're level in the lead, so it's quite a remarkable turnaround. And Smarslik has got 1 point to his name. Can he come up with a big ride now?
So here we go. Heat number 10. Oh, dodgy start there, but the red lights are on straight away.
Yeah, a little bit scruffy. Both the riders on the outside were a bit keen to get underway there. You can understand it, it's so tight. Just 2 points between 4 teams. Iversen and Smarslik, I think, are very keen to get on with it. Iversen moves quite clearly there.
Yeah.
He may have been very close to, well, he would have been close to touching the tapes. Can't see it there, he's tucked underneath the safety fence, but...
a sign of the pressure, a sign of the close scoreline.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All 4 back for heat number 10. And a warning for
well, he was moving.
one of the riders. Niels Christian Iversen has been issued a warning.
Yeah, and absolutely, he was moving, so he needs to sit still. Holder made a great start from there in the previous race, but Iversen quite clearly realising that he needs to come up with a big start. 2 minutes is on immediately. Riders just having a few tweaks, clutch coolers out, chains being adjusted, fuel tanks being topped up, and
Linus Sundström has just run back to the pits area. Just as the 2 minutes came on, Sundström got off his bike.
He's been their weakest rider. He hasn't scored yet, so Sweden will be keen to try and get him going. He's come back out now. They haven't changed the bike. They've changed the back wheel.
Well, how long will this take? They've got 1 minute and 20 seconds. Can they do that?
They're going to be under pressure. They're going to be under pressure.
Is that a big call?
It is a big call now because you get it a bit nervy, and it will put him under a bit of pressure. The other 2-3 riders are now just put a different rear wheel in there. They should have enough time.
Well,
yes,
they've got a minute now.
They will have enough time, and just a bit of extra stress for the mechanic, and he'll be just getting that rear chain adjusted up. I don't know why they've changed the rear tyre there. Maybe different gear ratio, I'm not quite sure, but they'll be hoping that he can get amongst the points this time because Linus has had a difficult afternoon so far.
He certainly has. He was disqualified in his second ride, a last in his first, but here we go.
Comfortably up, no problem.
Getting set for action then. Heat number 10. What dramatic twist will we see next? A reminder, Iversen off the outside warned about movement at the start line in the original staging of this one. Heat number 10, Jason Doyle off the inside in yellow, Linus Sundström gate 2 in blue for Sweden, Bartosz Smarslik gate 3 in white for Poland, Niels Christian Iversen going off the outside in red for Denmark. The nerves, no doubt, will be jangling.
They are, and Jason Doyle has changed his bike. He's on gate 1. He hasn't quite had the speed he would have wanted, so just giving his second bike a run out here. He's on the inside.
Here we go then. It is heat number 10 and going into that first turn. All very tight. Surely somebody's going to go down.
Oh, Iversen.
Iversen has gone down, and
Smarslik comes to the front. That's a tough first corner.
Apex of the first turn. Iversen goes down, and the referee has got to make a call once again here. Will he put all 4 riders back in? A big decision coming up for the referee.
Seeing it again, we're looking at Smarslik initially out of gate 3. Tough there, Doyle on the inside, Iversen coming from the outside, not a lot of room there.
That's going to be all 4, isn't it?
All 4 back, easy decision for the referee to do.
Yep.
Iversen just spins up when he goes from the tapes, doesn't get the drive, and he comes across.
All 4 back.
He comes from the outside, and confirmed now all 4 riders will be put back in the rerun. He's up on his feet, the bike's now just being picked up as well. This is going to be very difficult to call the result here. Riders are finding it really difficult. It's quite slick, and when they put the water on, it goes quite greasy. So it's very important that you can get the right bike setup at the right time. Iversen just making his way back, and the seconds with him. They'll be feeling nervous, the home team, because it's not going their way. They are favourites for this, but I tell you what, it's wide open at this stage. I think the Swedes for me have been a real surprise.
Yeah, they've really got stuck in and worked hard. Iversen now just taking his time, allowing the opportunity for his pit crew to get the bike back, but the bike looks as though it's got major issues. So
well, they're having to lift the back wheel up, aren't they? So
he's going to have to switch bikes then, isn't he?
Maybe the chain has been jammed or in some respect, but they're having to do some work on the bike just to be able to get it back to the pits to continue the work.
Here we see it again. Everson is the man in red. He's the one that goes down here.
Yeah, he just gets caught on the outside of Smarslik and then gets it wrong and just finds himself in the wrong place at the wrong time. You could argue possibly that he could get excluded for that. Possibly. Gets a little bit unsettled on the way in, but no surprise that the referee puts all four back in. Doyle had made a really good fist on the inside of changing his bike. Smarslik makes a great run out of it. He can't believe it, he's frustrated, but he will get a second chance. It's a nice afternoon now. It's
very pleasant.
You know, yesterday the weather was horrible and it was very frustrating for everybody concerned with the amount of water that came down. But yep, we'll just have to be patient and wait for the boys to get back to tapes.
Heat number 10 will be coming up when Niels Christian Everson returns to the pits, and just making his way down towards the pit gate area now as well. And one or two crashes, one or two decisions that the referee's had to make. He's had to warn riders. There's been exclusions, and you know the riders have just been throwing the bikes at each other.
I think by and large, I think the referee's done a good job.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think he's done a good job. Yeah, it's a tough meeting to you know, officiate, and he's done a pretty good job.
Let's hear from Steve Brandon.
Anders, you've just walked all the way back with Niels. How is he?
He's okay, so no problem.
Is your team starting to feel a little bit of pressure now?
The pressure is always on. We have Nicky Pedersen, who's been out twice, scored 0 points. So, of course, that put on pressure on the team. Kenneth as well has had one heat with also 0 points. So that puts on pressure on the rest of the boys.
It is the World Cup, the World Team Cup. Your role, very important to keep everyone into the meeting.
Yeah, we have a small team talk when the grading is on, just to how do we adapt to the track and so on. So, and I think it's working okay.
All right, thanks for your time. Back to the team.
Well, I think Anders Sekkers will be feeling the pressure. He made the big decision to bring Kenneth Pierre in. Yeah, hasn't been in great form this year, but rides this track very well. Started like a house on fire, but subsequently has struggled for points. And he'll be hoping that Pierre can get amongst the points again, because Nicky Pedersen has found it tough so far. If they get going, I do believe that this meeting is all about the team that can get all their riders firing, because at the moment, you know, it looks like the team is going and then suddenly they drop points. There's an exclusion, or they've overridden. And, you know, when you look at the scores, there are zeros everywhere in all the teams. So if Janowski actually said it, don't bring a zero back. I think if you actually adhere to that, you're going to have a very good chance of picking up a gold medal.
And the way it's going as well, if it carries on like this, we're going to go down to a last heat decider.
Wow.
If it carries on like this. But as I say, I just feel that maybe if Nicky Pedersen can start hitting the big points as you would expect. But then again, that might be counteracted by the fact that Kenneth Pierre has run a last in his last outing.
Exactly.
So it balances itself out.
You need all four boys going, don't you?
You do.
And you can't afford to run last places. And it's, you know, as I say, if you can just now manage to first and seconds all the time in these upcoming heats at this crucial stage of the night, then all of a sudden, excuse me. Okay. Most of the racing is at night, but it will put you in a very strong position and make it hard for the other teams to beat you. So Everson's, I think he's changed his bike here. They saw them pulling another one out, so maybe he's coming out on a fresh one.
No major surprise?
No, heavy fall. Lena Sundström coming out, and the last one to emerge will be the captain of the home team on his spare bike, Danish captain Niels Christian Everson.
A real hero for Denmark last year in the World Cup, Niels Christian Everson.
Yes.
Can he be a hero again in 2015? The Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup a month earlier than normal. We have the Grand Prix resuming in a couple of weeks' time at Cardiff, the Millennium Stadium, July the 4th, Saturday, July the 4th at Cardiff. So we're back with that. Still 9 rounds of the Grand Prix competition to go, so a lot of Speedway still to come, as we say, with the Millennium Stadium coming up next. So we're up to heat number 10. This is only the halfway stage of this World Cup final, and still we see only 2 points separating all 4 nations. Heat number 10. Here we go once again. It's off the inside. It's Jason Doyle for Australia. Gate 2 Linus Sundström for Sweden, Bartosz Marslik for Poland off 3, and Niels Christian Iversen going off the outside in the red helmet car.
He is, and he needs to get a better getaway because he spun up last time. He's just taking his time to settle down. He's ready to go now, though.
Here we go, heat number 10. Oh, Iversen's been left at the start. Smartschlick with a beauty from 3. What to get up, but then he's gone square, and now he's gone to the back, and that has allowed the Swede to come through, Sundström. Now Iversen, who was left at the start, he's going to blast around the outside, but Sundström's taking it wide. Oh, what a move! Doyle comes through as well. Sundström just battling and still hanging on there under pressure from Doyle down the back straight. And at the back is Bartosz Smartschlick, who made a super start to the race. But here's Iversen now in front, and here comes Sundström again challenging Doyle.
Well, you need a bit of good fortune sometimes, and Iversen got it there because he made a bad start, and he was able to use it because the mistake from... Oh! Sundström once again slams in the side of Doyle. That was naughty, really naughty. Smartschlick into third. Doyle now back up the inside of the outside. Doyle's after him. He's angry about that. Iversen, he's cleared off.
The front of Doyle's bike.
I tell you what, that was ruthless from Sundström.
He could be
outrageous.
He could be excluded. Sundström with that move has caused Doyle's bike to pack up.
Well, the front spokes in the front wheel have collapsed, and Sundström just rode in the side of him down the straight. That's right out of order.
Well, he's putting his arms up towards the referee's box, and another big decision. We saw this in the race-off where a rider was disqualified for foul riding.
Yeah, Doyle's upset with that, and rightly so. It was a dangerous move, and he would have dragged all the right-hand footrest has gone in the front wheel and dragged all the spokes out of it, and the front wheel is then literally collapsing. Very naughty move from Sundström.
More drama. Unbelievable here.
Yeah, what about the first corner? Smartschlick out of shape. Iversen then.
Riders are coming out. Just tell them to hold on.
Yeah, we need to get our breath
Well,
back.
the referee has given Linus Sundström second place there, with Smartschlick in third. Jason Doyle fuming. More sporting drama here in South Denmark, with Denmark and Sweden level on 16 apiece. Poland 15 and Australia have 12. Doyle furious.
Yeah, it was nasty. It could have been really tricky down the back straight. Iversen comes up. Iversen, he makes an awful start. Smartschlick initially, he's made a great start, but gets it all wrong there and goes from first to last. That's his race over. Super move then from Iversen. He gets down the outside here. Has to be patient initially, but that's where he just waited momentarily and then was able to swoop round the outside of Sundström. Doyle there coming into it. Then Linus Sundström comes across here and just rides straight in the side of Doyle there. That's a complete misjudgment. And the Swede is very fortunate not to be thrown out for that. That
foul
could have
riding.
been very nasty indeed. He completely misjudges that. And the right-hand footrest has gone in the front wheel of Jason Doyle's. And no wonder Doyle is frustrated with that. He could have crashed quite heavily.
Well, this is the referee who disqualified Pavlitsky for foul riding on Thursday night in the race-off. But Sundström has got away with that. Heat number 11 is coming up here, and Nicky Pedersen is off gate number 3 in red. So can we see Pedersen in the points for the first time in this dramatic Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final? Lindbach, Janowski, Pedersen and Batchelor is the lineup here. Every race has something dramatic about it.
Does it ever? It's been really entertaining. There's been plenty of controversy as well. Riders are riding so hard and making some really tough moves, and one or two may have been a bit over the top.
Well, they have been.
And you've got to say that, yeah, they've been excluded for it, haven't they? Rightly so, excuse me, yes. Linus Sundström, though, I don't like that move.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen, and riders can go over the handlebars, and that really can be very dangerous indeed. Nicky Pedersen under pressure, hasn't scored yet.
Level between Denmark and Sweden. Here we go, heat number 11. and into the first turn. Lindback has got there. Pedersen is going to go wide now. Has he got the speed? Nicky Pedersen to come around the outside of Janowski. Janowski holds second place now. Nicky tries to dive around the outside. Janowski is there with the door open for the pole. Pedersen challenging Lindback, 3 abreast going into lap 2.
Yeah, good stuff from Antonio Lindback. He's out in front. Janowski up the inside of Pedersen, really close. Pedersen on one wheel, charges into the bottom corner once again. Lindback riding well. Janowski's having a look at Pedersen, leaves him racing room. Fair riding from Janowski. Very fair riding. Pedersen awfully wide. Once again, Janowski off the inside. Oh! No room that time for Pedersen. The door was well and truly slammed shut. Bachelor. Well, Pedersen in the third place again. Janowski coming after Lindback. Can he do anything about it?
And now Pedersen charges past Bachelor. Lindback has got the race under control, but controversy again between Janowski and Pedersen in heat number 11. Drama here in Vojens this Sunday afternoon. Antonio Lindback there with a super ride for Sweden. Takes the checkered flag. Janowski and Pedersen. Pedersen just has a little look across at Mats Janowski. But what a ride from Antonio Lindback.
It was fantastic stuff from him. He's been in super form this year, and it comes up with a great ride there. No question the Swedes mean business. He failed to score first time out. He's got 5 points from the next 2. Great stuff from Lindback. What a race it was. The drama going on behind him. You couldn't take your eyes off it.
And Sweden are now in tactical territory as well. That's significant. The Australians are in tactical territory because they are now 7 points behind Sweden, who are the leaders of the meeting. Denmark and Poland on 17 each, and Australia have 12. So 7 points behind the leading nation, Australia, and here they have Nick Morris in the yellow helmet colour.
They have, but we're going to have a quick look back at what's just happened. It was quite dramatic. Great start initially from Lindback. He's round the inside. Janowski's very fair for a couple of laps here with Nicky Pedersen. He gives him racing room. Has a good look to his right. He knows that Nicky's coming at him. He just runs into the back of the dirt deflector there that just unsettles Pedersen later on in the race. You see it here with Janowski coming across there. Gets unsettled. It's so hard out there, and Pedersen does well to stay in contact with his bike. Lindback riding nicely, winning in fine style with Janowski. Smart ride for second place. What a World Cup final this is. This really is something special. Sorry,
this is no place for the faint-hearted. And if you're one of those riders that perhaps is on the cautious side, and I'm sure there are riders who try to be cautious, but a meeting like this, you simply cannot be. You have to give it absolutely everything. And that's what the riders are doing. And in the World Cup, once again, we're seeing a classic case where nations, individual riders do not want to let their colleagues down, and they're putting it on the line. Nick Morris off the inside in yellow here for Australia, with Mark Lemon resisting the temptation for a tactical substitution. Andreas Jonsson goes off gate 2 in blue. Przemek Pawlicki gate 3. Peter Killerman going off the outside here for Denmark.
Yeah, Kilderman will be strutting his stuff, that's for sure. And Pawlicki, we can see him earlier on. He was really getting amongst it. The main danger's got to be Jonsson. Jonsson is unbeaten so far. He's flying, as you rightly say. Nick Morris, who was fast in his opening one, just got himself in the wrong place last time, but he's on the inside. The youngster needs a good start here.
Can Jonsson maintain his unbeaten record and extend the lead for Sweden? He's not made the start this time. Coming around the outside from gate 4 is Peter Killerman down the back straight, challenging Przemek Pawlicki. My goodness me, you cannot take your eyes off this meeting for one single moment. Here comes Pawlicki again with the lead going into lap 2. Killerman is second, and third is Andreas Jonsson with Nick Morris at the back. But watch out, Killerman will keep it wound on. He's coming back for more.
How much speed does he carry back into the pit corner? Right round the outside, back Berkeley riding very well. Kilderman to the inside. Right across in front of Pawlicki. What a ride from the Danish rider. Fantastic stuff from him. Jonsson back in third place. Peter Kilderman, he's an entertainer.
Get out of the way, says Peter Kilderman. He has the lead now for the Danes. Second place is Pawlicki. This will put Poland on 19. Sweden would be on 20. And Denmark are going to go level on 20 as well. This meeting, after 3 rides per nation, per rider, 12 heats gone. It's level in the World Cup final with 8 heats to decide the world champions for 2015. This is a most amazing Speedway meeting.
Well, this is a feast of Speedway. It is absolutely extraordinary. Peter Kilderman, well, he defies the laws of physics on the bike. He can't believe it, what he's doing. He was so wide and then he charged back to the inside. Kilderman, exceptional.
Wow, remarkable. Heat number 12 done and dusted. And here we see it now. 3 nations have 1 point between them. And Australia are 8 behind the leading pack with the option of a tactical substitution and or a joker. 12 heats gone here in the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final. It is beautifully poised.
Well, Peter Kilderman is outstanding here. He doesn't make a very good start, but he comes roaring around the outside. Pavlicki on the inside. He gets the rush off the first corner and he's in front, but Peter Kilderman, he is so determined. He runs very wide here. He's generating more and more speed. He works the outside for a lap. Now we're into the second lap. He switches back to the inside. Very nearly wipes out Pavlicki with that hard move. Really hard move. Watch the dirt deflector. There's no question it clips the front wheel there, and Pavlicki does well to stay upright. In actual fact, if he'd gone down, could possibly been an exclusion there for the Danish rider. Peter Kilderman, he is an entertainer. I tell you what, that was a special ride from him. So tight, 20 points again between the 2 Scandinavian teams, and Poland lurking in 3rd place. What special Speedway we are witnessing here.
Well, you just cannot predict the outcome of this. You know, the way it's going. Who would have thought Nicky Pedersen would score 1 point from 3 rides for Denmark?
He's no way, can't see it.
Second in the world individual standings, and here we see it now. Denmark 20, Sweden 20, Poland 19. Australia may seem well behind on 12, but they still have the possibility of the joker that they can use. They're the only team here that can use it, because you have to be 6 or more behind. Now, Anders Secker holding his team talk, as he does after every round of 4 heats, but this really is something special. Antonio Lindback of Team Sweden with 5 points from 3 rides. He's with Steve.
Antonio, this is a tough old Speedway meeting.
Yeah, it's really tough, but still it's fun, you know. It's, you know, everybody's really tight, and you know, it's good Speedway out there. So.
Team spirit key, and it is, you say, tight in the pits. It's great team spirit this year for Sweden.
Yeah, we have, you know, I'm really happy to race for Sweden this year, you know, with all these guys, you know, I have a lot of fun with them, so it helps.
And for you, very good to bounce back with 5 points after a tough first ride?
Yeah, you know, I had struggled a little bit with the setups, but I start to get there, you know, still a few more things need to be better, but I'm there.
I know they're waiting for you for a team meeting. I'll let you go. Thanks.
Thanks.
Lots of team meetings going on.
Well, and no surprise, because there is a gold medal up for grabs here, and all 4 teams are still within a very good chance of getting it, because it's so close. I've got to say that the Swedish team were, you know, they were the underdogs coming into this afternoon's event, and I tell you what, they are riding out of their skins. They would have been nervous, but they had less pressure than Denmark and Poland, that's for sure. And they're doing themselves proud. They've won a World Cup here before. Could they make it another one here this afternoon? And the way they're riding, it's very possible. So it has been outstanding. Plenty of track grading going on now, with dirt being pulled back and water going down.
Well, the Polish team manager now is with our man Steve Brandon.
Marek, we've just seen the Swedes having a team meeting. You've just had a team meeting. What have you said to the riders?
Now we have every break we have a meeting, and we're talking about what happened last 4 heats, who changed something in the bike, better and less, and any mistakes. We're talking about everything.
No race wins in the last 4, but 7 solid points. It's about keeping the last places off the score chart. You must keep scoring points in every race.
Yeah, this is the most important, because meeting is very tough. Zero is double zero.
And just for a very inexperienced, very young team, you must be very proud so far.
I have in Poland lots of people say Marek is crazy because it's new team, young guys. But I think today I can say I was right.
You were right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he has a lot of pressure. You know, Poland is a high-profile sport in their country, and there's no question that you know, Smarslik and the youngsters are doing themselves proud.
Now Australia do seem cut adrift, but they're not really, because they can use the joker. Here's Chris Holder, the skipper, with Steve Brandon.
Chris, 12 heats gone, 8 to go. You've just had a team meeting. What's been said?
Just keep chasing. We lost a few points there by slipped away a little bit, but you know, still a lot of races to go, and we need to have a good round this one. I think we've got some inside gates, which I don't think are the greatest, but we'll give it everything, and hopefully we can do something.
Sometimes not the easiest when the adrenaline's pumping, but you just have to be a little bit patient in some of these races.
Yeah, you do, and that's, you know, it's very hard to do, but you know, we had some unlucky with Doyley. We went from second, and you know, the Swedish guy took all his spokes out of his front wheel, and we get nothing for it. So that's hard to take, but we've moved on, and we've just got to make sure the next 4 races count and give us a shot for the last 4.
And you look like you got set up sorted in your last ride, a good win off gate 4. Can you pass that on down the pit lane?
Yeah, I told them whatever I was using, but the boys, you know, they're going good too. They've had 1 or 2 sort of average races maybe, but the rest has been okay, and yeah, apart from my first ride, the rest was going pretty good.
Did the team meeting include any thoughts on using the joker? You're in that territory now.
You'll see.
All right, thanks, mate. Cheers.
Yeah, good
Won't
stuff.
be long, I'm sure. Troy Batchelor's up for them in the next race, heat 13. And Mark Lemon there, looking at his program. I'm sure he knows when he wants to use it. He could use Holder now as a joker, potentially.
Yeah, but they're only, what are they? They're 8 behind. And they don't want to go too much further behind. And by the same token as well, if they claw it back, they may not be allowed to use a joker. So it's a delicate, it's a balancing act, isn't it?
Personally, if I was a team manager, I'd go with it now.
Get it done as soon as you can.
Yeah, I would. When the opportunity's there, take it.
Or do you wait for Nick Morris in heat 14 and put Holder in on a joker?
Well, he's not changing this ride, because we've just seen Batchelor come out. Batchelor's had a couple of second places, ran a last time. He's still coming out every time with 2 bikes, Batchelor, so he's not comfortable, he's not settled. And that is not ideal, you know, that means he's not pleased with the bike setup at this stage. His mechanics, both of them are on the track, and that always is of some concern, because when things are going well, you know the bike you want to ride. Freddie Lindgren coming out, Everson's up as well.
Lindgren's been in the thick of it, hasn't he?
I'll tell you what, that move he had with Buskowski coming out of turn 4, that was really tough and probably warranted a warning. Pavlicki also is another hard charger. It's been very entertaining, ever so exciting. The people that have come today, they must be enjoying it.
Bigger crowd than last night. Now, I wonder, Kelvin, because as we're well aware, we caught the second half of the Danish football match when we were back in Kolding last night. So I wonder if the crowd last night was affected by the Danish football team being on national television.
Yeah, good shout. Well done.
Well, heat number 13 is coming up. We have 8 heats to decide the world champions. Here we go with the lineup then for heat number 13. And going off the inside, Troy Batchelor for Australia in yellow. Freddie Lindgren goes off gate number 2 in blue for Sweden. Gate 3 is Niels Christian Everson for Denmark. And Przemek Pavlicki, who has been, shall we say, eventful today. He's been on the wrong end of things, and he's been on the right end of things, but either way, he's been well worth a watch, Kelv.
Yeah, he's been entertaining us, hasn't he, in every way. So, yes, you can't take your eyes off him when he's out there. He's ever such a happy-go-lucky fella. He's always got a smile on his face, but he grows horns when he pulls that helmet on, I'll tell you that, because he really does go for it when he's out there. And Niels Christian Everson, the captain of the home team, he'll be feeling the pressure. They've got to come up with a ride here. And Batchelor, he's got to ride well here. They don't want to fall too far behind. You're right, Nigel. He's got to come up with a big ride.
Here we go, heat number 13, and a little bit of movement at the start once again, and it's a great start from Batchelor. He has the advantage here now. This would put Australia onto 15 points. Sweden would be on 22 if it stayed like this, so they could still use the joker. Now coming through, Niels Christian Everson putting pressure on, but if it stays like this, Troy Batchelor will... Oh! It's locked up! Oh, my goodness!
Pavlicki!
Down the back straight they go, and Everson's at the back.
He's gone to the back. Got to say, Batchelor was very good away from the tapes. Everson round the outside of Pavlicki. Once again, Pavlicki just overriding a little bit, but Lindgren almost turned the bike inside out.
Kelvin, this would be the perfect result for Australia. Batchelor winning the race, and they're still sufficiently behind to use a tactical substitute and/or a joker. That is remarkable. Batchelor looks over his shoulder. Lindgren holds second place right now. Third is Everson. If it stays like this now, Australia move on to 15. Sweden now, they have 22, and Denmark have 21. Poland are on 19, so they've just slipped a little bit there. But for Troy Batchelor, he's a hero for Australia. He's gained some ground, and they can still use a joker. What a result for Australia.
Well, you couldn't script it, could you? It really is quite dramatic. Troy Batchelor, after a disappointing last time, I feared for him because he still looked like he was undecided with his equipment, but he comes up with a storming ride. Track was greasy there, quite wet, but it didn't slow him down any. Great ride for Troy Batchelor. And how close is it? It really is tough to call. The Aussies are battling hard. They really haven't thrown the towel in. Great stuff.
Surely it's going to be Holder in yellow here as a joker.
Wouldn't
Got to
be
fancy it, haven't you?
Wouldn't be a surprise.
Just having it confirmed, by the way, yes, the news is coming through that Chris Holder will go as a tactical substitute and indeed the joker in heat number 14 in yellow.
Troy Batchelor, super start from him. He's right round the inside. Freddie Lindgren then gets into second place with Pavlicki out the back, and Everson. Got to say, Freddie Lindgren almost turns the bike inside out here later in the race. Everson's missing the starts here this afternoon. He just isn't that sharp away from the tapes. Batchelor is, and this is a great ride from Batchelor because he failed to score last time and just didn't, I wasn't sure, I wasn't confident that he was going to look at this from Lindgren. That's where that very nearly costs him second place. But all credit to him, he recovers and is able to get into second place. Super action once again. Batchelor out in front, but it's joker time for the Australians, that's for sure.
Certainly is. Heat number 14 coming up. And it is Chris Holder going off gate number 2 in yellow, replacing Nick Morris as a tactical sub, and they're using the one and only opportunity you're allowed for a joker as well for double points. So can Chris Holder trap from gate number 2 and collect 6 points, which would put Australia on 21?
Yes, he can. He made a great start last time from gate 4 and won very comfortably. It's a strong race. Every race is strong, but Janowski's riding well. Pierre is a question mark. He started strongly but has slipped since then, but he's got that inside gate. The track is quite greasy and slick, and in that first ride there, heat 13 after the track prep, there's no question that riders were struggling for grip and were literally spinning up in the middle of the corners, but Pierre on the inside, that might be the best place to be.
Yep, yeah, it is, off the inside gate with Chris Holder going for double points off gate 2 in yellow. Maciej Janowski gate 3 in white for Poland, and Linus Sundström, who's been in the thick of the action today as well. He goes off the outside in blue. We are down to the last 7 heats to decide the World Cup champions, and it's a big moment for Team Australia.
It is, and the former world champion Chris Holder, who has had a hard time in the last couple of years with injuries, rebuilding his career at this level. The pressure's on. Chris is renowned for his starting, needs to come up with a really good one here.
Massive race coming up then here. Heat 14 and Holder has made a shocker. Absolute shocker for Chris Holder. Maciej Janowski then has that lead. Pierre comes up the inside, and now Holder has to just lock, and that allows Sundström clear in third place. But this is a great ride from Maciej Janowski, and is this realistically Australia's hopes of a challenge going out of the window?
Well, it's not going to do him any favours. Chris dropped the clutch there and the bike just spun up. It didn't go anywhere, and that's a great shame for him. Super ride from Janowski, made a good start and he cleared off out in front. Pierre has responded. He's in amongst the points. Linus Sundström in third place. Holder trying to look for a way through, desperate to try and get anything out of this race, but Maciej Janowski, he's looking terrific out in front. There's a lap to go for him, should win the race.
And now Holder tries the inside run.
Sundström down. Oh, Holder's going to get excluded, I think.
Well, he's not put the red lights on. The referee is going to allow the race to finish. And that suggests that he is going to allow
got the red
result
light
to
on
start.
now.
Yeah, they're on now. Yeah, now I wonder what is going to happen here. Will he declare the result as they went over the line? This is remarkable.
There must be a question mark over Holder.
Well,
there was contact, there's contact, there's definite contact, and Chris Holder, well, he runs in the side of Lena Sundström.
Well, well, well. This is the angle. Was there contact?
There was, yeah, there was contact.
I didn't see the first angle, to be fair.
Yeah, there is contact, and
Here
Chris Holder there just comes into the side of him and he pushes him and he unsettles him and he goes down. So, be interesting to see what the ref does. He's probably got it. Yeah, he's excluded Chris Holder.
So, Chris Holder disqualified. The next question is, does the result stand? We assume the result will stand in heat number 14. And, well, that's a big result for Poland, isn't it? But the fact as well that Sweden get a point means that by my calculations there's 1 point between three countries.
Yeah.
1 point between three countries with 6 heats to go, Kelvin.
It really is fantastic. Got a feel for Holder a little bit. Didn't get away when he really needed to, and then made that move, and it was tough into that corner, but he gets excluded. Janowski wins, 3 for him. Bjerre in second, Sundström in third. We'll see how tight it is now.
Well, 23 points now for Sweden and Denmark. Level at the top with Poland on 22, and Australia are now on 15, and you do fear for Australia now. They've only got 6 heats to claw this deficit back. And whilst it all went well with the Bachelor win in the previous race, it's all gone wrong here.
Yeah, he just doesn't get away, Holder there. You can clearly see he just spins up and gets no grip at all, and he's out the back. Good stuff from Janowski. Bjerre coming into second place. It's tight there as they come out of the first corner. Mark Lemon is gutted. He's so disappointed. Just doesn't get the response from the bike that he needed to. Late in the race, Chris then chops to the inside and collects Sundström on the way through, and unsettles the Swedish rider, and the Sundström goes down, and the exclusion comes for Chris Holder, the captain of the Aussies, and to all intents and purposes it's going to be extremely difficult for them to get a medal here this afternoon, with the top 3 teams being so tight. But it's been a breathless meeting, it really has, and we've still got, I'm sure, plenty of twists and turns to come.
Yeah, heat number 15 is coming up with Krzysztof Boszkowski off the inside for Poland, Nicky Pedersen for Denmark off 2, Jason Doyle going off gate number 3 in yellow, and Andreas Jonsson going off the outside. What a lineup this one is.
Yeah, another great lineup, and Nicky Pedersen under pressure has found it tough to get the points here this afternoon. Just one to his name, and he's been in great form this year. Anders Secker, he will be feeling the pressure, I'm sure of that. Been hugely successful as the Danish team manager, but this is quite possibly one of the fiercest and most competitive World Cups he's been involved with. And Denmark and Poland have dominated the World Cup in the last 10 years, and they're on gates 1 and 2.
Well, nobody else has won it over the last 10 years but Denmark and Poland. Here we go, and that was very nervy from Jason Doyle off gate number 3. Now it's all about the first turn, and the Pole Boszkowski has got there, and Doyle comes through. Oh, and it's all bunched up down the back straight, and Pedersen has to get off the gas. Now Jonsson is going to try the inside line.
Oh, Boszkowski!
Where on earth are they going here? The lead is with Doyle, Jonsson second, Pedersen third, and Boszkowski somehow manages to stay on the bike.
Wow, that was a ruthless first lap there from Jason Doyle, clearly frustrated with what happened to him last time. Boszkowski all out of shape, ran the inside, Boszkowski coming back at Pedersen. Pedersen's in third place, Andreas Jonsson into second place, but you've got to give Doyle a lot of credit here. His front spokes ripped out by Lena Sundström last time in the race, and he's going for it out in front. Can Boszkowski get amongst the points?
If it stays like this, Jonsson will put Sweden ahead by a point. Can he pass Doyle? Is he going to try around the outside now? Can Jonsson switch up the inside to the checkered flag? He's looking at the finish line, but Doyle's done enough.
Good ride.
Great ride from Jason Doyle. Second place was Andreas Jonsson. Third, Nicky Pedersen with Boszkowski at the back. And now it means that Sweden lead Denmark by 1 point in the race for the World Cup with 5 races to go. And Nicky Pedersen has still only scored 2 from 4 rides. Would you believe it?
Well, I can't believe it. A rider of his stature in Denmark, really struggling for pace this afternoon.
And that was a great ride from Jason Doyle to win that race. And now we see Sweden on 25, Denmark 24, Poland 22, and Australia still in the hunt for a bronze medal here. They're on 18. What a meeting this is. And this, heat number 16 coming up, is the last programmed ride before the managers have their picks.
Yeah, they come rushing into the first corner. Bruskovski initially. Great stuff from Doyle, who chops to the inside. Really tough move from him. No racing room down the back straight for Pedersen, who has to shut the throttle off. Doyle absolutely ruthless. Bruskovski, all out of shape, goes from second to last and has a really tough first lap there. Firstly, initially from Doyle getting up the inside of him. Pedersen being squeezed out of it once again, just not being able to make starts here this afternoon, which is unusual for him. Doyle responding well, frustrated after what happened to him in his previous ride. He picks up a useful win. I think the Aussies are just leaving it a little bit late. They could still get a medal. Well, maybe I wrote them off a little bit too early, because there's no question that Doyle has come up with a very strong ride, but great meeting.
Yeah,
still
terrific.
plenty of action to come.
Well, I mean, which way is it going to go? Who's going to win this World Cup?
I just can't call it. I think the Swedes have done so well. I didn't see the Swedes winning, that's for sure, before the meeting started. I couldn't see it.
I never checked the odds. I wouldn't have minded seeing what odds they were with the bookmakers.
For you, Nige?
Steady on. I only check the odds, bear in mind.
Okay.
Heat 16 coming
So
up.
you tell the wife.
Yeah, absolutely. Off the inside, Peter Killerman for Denmark. Gate 2 is Chris Holder in yellow for Australia. Antonio Lindback goes off gate 3 in blue for Sweden. And Bartosz Smarslik for Poland. Big ride needed from that young man now. He goes off the outside. He's only got 2 from 3 rides, Smarslik.
Yeah.
Big test for the young man now.
It is, but he's come through with under big pressure before. He's won a Grand Prix. So Smarslik on the outside, you're right. Got to do something special.
Here we go, heat number 16, and Smarslik's been left standing at the start. This is a great start from Peter Killerman, but watch out for Antonio Lindback in blue, and down the back straight. How have they stayed on the bike? Killerman in front, almost lost control. Killerman has that lead now. Smarslik is going to challenge Holder, who has second place. It's Smarslik in third, and the Swede, Lindback, is at the back, and this throws it wide open again as Lindback tries for third, and Smarslik closes the door.
Brilliant stuff once again. Peter Kilderman being a superstar for the Danish team. Holder riding hard in second place after his exclusion. Smarslik missed the start and he's in third place. Lindback, the Swedes were leading coming into this race. It's going to turn on its head once again. Peter Kilderman being a star for the Danish team.
This is going to give Denmark a 2-point lead going into the nominated heats of the last 4. This is a terrific result for Denmark. Is the World Cup final about to turn on its head because of the fact that Antonio Lindback of Sweden is going to run a last here? It's Kilderman, Holder, Smarslik in third, and the man at the back is Antonio Lindback, and that is a bitter blow for the Swedes because Denmark are now on 27, Sweden are now on 25. Huge result for Denmark in heat number 16.
Yeah.
Turns the meeting on its head.
Yeah, great ride from Peter Kilderman, and Kilderman has had 3 wins tonight, and he has ridden supremely well. Got to say once again, so exciting to watch, and the action behind him, really couldn't take your eyes off it. Good ride from Holder there to get amongst the points. Fantastic Speedway. Lindback will be really disappointed, but so close here. Still tough to call.
16 heats and 7 points separate the 4 of them. Denmark on 27, Sweden 25, Poland 23, Australia have 20 with 4 heats to go.
Well, Peter Kilderman, he fully justifies his slot in the team, doesn't he? He has been.
And we're going to watch him in the World Cup in Cardiff in 3 weeks as well.
Well, the Grand Prix.
Sorry, I mean the Grand
Prix. Yes, we will.
This is the World Cup.
Yes, it is.
What day is it?
I couldn't tell you. Been here too long. Great stuff down the back straight early doors. Peter Kilderman out in front. He misses all the drama behind him. Lindback's the loser. Lindback gets squeezed out on the opening lap on the back straight. Again, Kilderman makes a great start. Smarslik doesn't. And he's in amongst the traffic, hasn't quite got the speed that he would have liked. Lindback getting beaten up as they go into the bottom corner. Peter Kilderman giving the Danish team exactly what they were looking for here. A little bit out of shape, he hangs onto the bike, picks up a vital win.
Well, this is just one of those World Cup finals again that never disappoints. The track as well, after the disappointment of the postponement last night, the shape of this Vojens track has once again underlined how the riders revel in the possibility of the outside, the inside line. It really has been breathtaking.
Well, it's another classic example. You get the racetrack right, you've got a great show. And, you know, this is a good permanent speedway track, and it has provided us with some outstanding entertainment, and that can't be overlooked.
No, breathtaking. And the sun beaming down upon us as well. The sponsors of the tournament just firing a few free T-shirts into the crowd on the third and fourth turn. All the kids chasing hard. Good to see a lot of youngsters here this afternoon, which maybe they wouldn't have been here last night, Kelvin. But
no, I think you're right. I think that you know, there's a really good turnout, and they're rushing around there. They're now bathed in sunshine. It's a nice afternoon, and they've witnessed something very special. This will live long in the memory, this meeting, and still very difficult to make a call on who's going to win. Really difficult. Very interesting to see how the team managers put their riders in. I would believe you're going to see some strong riders coming out in Heat 17. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we see some very strong riders in the first race.
Well, this is really where the team managers have got to study closely and really come into their own. Just a reminder that Nicky Pedersen, three-time world champion, has scored 2 from 4 rides this afternoon.
Well, I think I'd put my strong rider out here. I think I'd like to stretch the lead as much as I can, as soon as I could, because Peter Kilderman could stretch that lead possibly over the Swedish team to 5 points. And
but then you're only a point away from allowing Sweden.
But then you control.
But they can't use a joker in the last 4 weeks.
Exactly. So I think that would be the way I would
good
play.
Call. Good call. Tatum for team manager somewhere. As we wait for the team manager's picks down in the pits area. It has been a marvellous afternoon.
I'm just taking it easy. I'm just allowing it to sink in a bit. It was such a disappointment yesterday evening, and you know, quite a bit of doom and gloom, not just about the weather, but you know, World Cup final, and you know, it's never easy when such a big event is postponed. But we've come back this afternoon, and that's long forgotten now. It's really good.
We did say, Kelv, didn't we, when we were leaving the stadium last night, if there's a crumb of comfort from last night's disappointment, is that the World Cup final on a good track like this is going to be a great speedway meeting, and so it's proved to be.
And when you looked at the lineup, it couldn't not be a good meeting, could it? And it's delivered. And at the World Cup final, I can't remember a poor one. And this one has been, out of a very good bunch of meetings, this possibly is one of the better ones I've watched.
Yeah, take away last night. It's been a good World Cup.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, it's you know, I you know, Jarek Hempel's injury obviously is a slight downer on it.
Absolutely,
but apart from that, we've seen some great individual performances. But there's no doubt in my mind that Speedway's been the World Cup has been a great advert for World Championship Speedway this week.
Well, we are still waiting. To talk us through the build-up to the draw, here's Steve Brandon.
Yeah, well, we're just about ready for the draw in the pit area, guys. We've got Anders Secker here, Mark Lemon, who's going to be picking first. Anders Secker for Denmark is going to get the opportunity to stand around and make the last picks. But I still think, as Kelvin was just saying, it's going to be crucial and very interesting to see whether they go big hitters first or maybe sacrifice a heat early doors to see where they go. So Morgan Andersen for Denmark's making his way here, and Marek Schislak's just coming around behind us. So we're just about ready, and I think it's pretty fair to say that we're ready to we're ready to start now. So here we go. So Anders Seckers has been called across the front, and we're going to start the draw with Mark Lemon's being called now for Australia. So the yellow picks are going to go first, and he's straight in with Nick Morris is going to lead off in Heat 17. He's going to go out of Gate 1, which has been pretty good this afternoon. Second up, Jason Doyle, Grand Prix rider. Troy Batchel is going to be in Heat 19. And Australia desperate for a medal here. They've got a chance. And Chris Holder, the 2012 world champion, is going to finish the afternoon off for the Antipodeans in Heat 20. So next team forward, Marek Schislak for Poland. Again, difficult choice, a young team. They've done him proud this week without Jarek Hempel, the captain, injured in Jesno. So let's see what Marek's going to do. Bartosz Marslik, youngest rider in the meeting. He's going to go off in Heat 17. Maciej Janowski is captain in place of Jarek Hampel, is going to go in heat 18. Krzysztof Buszkowski, who came into the team, is in the third race in heat 19. And Szemek Pawlicki, who's had a great afternoon after being dumped on the track twice in his second ride. He's had to pick himself up, and he's going to go in heat 20 for them. So next to come forward is going to be Morgan Andersson from Sweden, his first World Cup, not his worst, his first World Cup. They've done very well. His first World Cup as manager for Sweden. Linus Sundström, the least experienced guy on his side, who's had a tough afternoon. He goes in heat 17. Antonio Lindback, heat 18. Now's an interesting choice. Two guys with lots of experience. Fredrik Lindgren is going to go in heat 19. And maybe, as expected, he's going to put his captain, Andreas Jonsson. Great start, but tailed off in his last couple of rides. He's going to go in heat 20. So now, here we go. The reigning world champions, Denmark. Last pick, but all the pressure possibly on them as the home side. And we saw last year it came down to heat 20. So it'll be interesting to see what Anders Secker does. Yes, he is. Nicky Pedersen, three-time world champion. 2 points on the afternoon. He's going to go in heat 17. Peter Kilderman, hard charging, exciting to watch. I'm not sure how exciting he'll be to ride against. He's in heat 18. Kenneth Bier won heat 1 in this final twice. He's in heat 19. And Niels Christian Iversen, his captain, goes in heat 20. So there we go. That's the lineup for heat 17, 18, 19 and 20, the final. Kelvin, your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are that I would have put Kilderman in heat 17. I think as soon as I saw Sundström going up in heat 17, that he's the weakest rider from the Swedish team. I believe that I would have then put my best rider in against him to stretch the lead.
Well, interesting times. It is vital, and we've said it many times when you do the pick for the last four heats, that in a meeting this close, the team managers can play as big a part as the riders. And it's interesting that Anders Secker has gone with Nicky Pedersen in 17 and Peter Killerman in 18 as well. Because if they take advantage of the 2-point margin they've already got, Denmark, they could well be looking at a situation where perhaps going into the last couple of heats, if Pedersen and Kilderman do it, they could well be 4 or 5 points up with 2 heats to go.
I can see the thought process here. It's just Pedersen normally, you know, he's only got 2 points, but I think I would have put, against the weakest Swedish rider, I would have put the strongest Danish rider, and particularly when you've got that opportunity. I think that's the only thing I disagree with the picks. Kilderman, Sundström hasn't been that great. You might well have been able to sort of steal a march on the opposition in heat 17.
Well, it's going to be fascinating now to see how these last 4 heats pan out. The World Cup is on the line. Can we see the domination of Poland and Denmark that have dominated the decade? Can they then be broken by Sweden? Australia are on 20 points. And the riders getting set for heat number 17. It's going to be a nervy old affair, Kelvin.
Very much so. And
so it's going to be interesting to see which way this goes. In fact, it looks very much as though Jason Doyle is coming in yellow, Kelvin. So Jason Doyle is coming in as a tactical substitute
for the Australians.
Yeah. So a tactical sub. That's an interesting one. They're just clinging on to hopes.
Yep, they are. He goes off the inside. As I say, Nicky Pedersen's had a difficult afternoon, but because Sundström's out here, I just wonder whether it might have been better to put Kilderman in here.
Here we go with heat number 17 then of the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final. Jason Doyle is the tactical substitute here in heat 17. He'll be out in the next one as well. Gate number 2 is Bartosz Marslik for Poland. Nicky Pedersen, gate 3 for Denmark. What a time it would be for Nicky to get his first win of the day on the board.
Yeah.
And Linus Sundström goes off the outside in blue.
Well, I think that if Pedersen wins the race, it gets the manager out of jail. Because I think that with Sundström in the race off gate 4, Kilderman coming off gate 3 possibly would have given an opportunity for the Danes to stretch the lead here. Pedersen's only got 2 points, had a tough time, but he's more than capable of winning this race. We know he has top quality, but on the evidence of this afternoon's meeting, I just wonder whether that might might have been a move I would have made. Doyle on the inside was great last time, and I understand the thought process there with Mark Lemon bringing him in.
Yep, very much so. Here we go then, heat number 17, massive race coming up. Who's going to hit the first turn? Doyle is there from gate number 1, and Pedersen hasn't made it. Now Pedersen is going to try the cut back up the inside and has got second place, and coming through in blue is Linus Sundström. The lead is with Jason Doyle of Australia. Nicky Pedersen holds second spot right now. Third is Sundström. If it stays like this, Denmark would be on 29 points. Sweden would move on to 26, and that would mean that a 3-point cushion for Denmark with only 3 heats to go.
Yeah. Good stuff from Doyle. He's riding well. He won last time out. Great start from him. Nicky Pedersen, he made a reasonable start, but he's hanging on to second place. Linus Sundström in third. Schmarzlik coming hard. Hit out the back. Maybe too hard. It's gone awfully wide in the bottom corner. May well be just a little bit too late for the Poles, but good ride from Jason Doyle. They're hanging on for a medal here.
Yeah, Australia right in the hunt for a medal here in Vojens this afternoon. Jason Doyle with a brilliant ride. He's out in the next one as well. And Nicky Pedersen in second place for Denmark puts them on to 29. Sundström holds on for third for the Swedes there. They're on 26 now. And with Poland at the back, they're on 23. They are now 6 points behind Denmark, but you cannot use a joker in the last 4 heats of a meeting. You can only use tactical substitutes, and they've got Janowski in the next one anyway.
Yeah, you just, good ride from Pedersen. I think Peter Kilderman would have won the race, but Doyle super out in front. And the Aussies have fought really hard here and have got themselves right back in the thick of it. They're neck and neck now with Poland for the bronze medal. And Sweden and Denmark still battling it out for the gold. But yeah, great stuff from Doyle. 2 heat wins in his last 2 rides after the frustration of losing his front wheel in his third ride.
Yeah, very much so.
See it again. He's on the inside and it works really nicely for him. Schmarzlik's there, but he gets out-battled in the first corner and finds himself in no man's land. Sundström gets up the inside of him down the back straight. Pedersen, who hasn't enjoyed a great meeting, he's only got 4 points from 5 rides, and that's not what you would have expected from him. 2 points is just about a job done, just about, because he beats the Swedish rider, and they stretch their lead to 3 points with 3 heats to go. But Jason Doyle, this is a lot of credit to him. He's showing the sort of form we've seen from him in the last 2 previous World Cups. He's winning races at this level, and they've really got that bike dialed in at the back end of the meeting. So he finishes on a high, and the Australians have got a chance, at the very least, of a bronze medal.
Well, Jason Doyle will be out in the next one here as well. So a little bit of extra time for Doyle to prepare for his next outing, and he really has come good, hasn't he, after 1 point from 3 rides, seeing his spokes demolished.
Sure.
That was harsh. He's got 2 wins under his belt now as well. So it really is.
And the heats.
Yeah,
absolutely. He's done brilliantly, hasn't he? And heat 18 is a tough ride, and he's going from the inside in the previous race, and he's going from the out. He's going from gate 2, isn't he? Peter Kilderman's going from the outside. It will be interesting to see what he gets up to. Lindback also, who has ridden well. A little bit up and down Lindback. He's had a couple of zeros, but he's also won a race, so you can never underestimate him. And Janowski quite clearly will be a major threat coming out of gate 3. It's
fascinating.
It is fascinating. It's advantage Denmark, isn't it? With,
big time.
Yeah, with 3 heats to go, but only just one little slip and it could all be on again. An engine failure or an exclusion. And we have seen some dramatic scenes here this afternoon, and you wouldn't put it past it happening again with 3 heats to go.
No, you wouldn't put anything past anybody in a meeting like this. It's all happened.
We've seen some extraordinary stuff, haven't we?
Just a bit. 6 points between the 4 nations with 3 heats to go.
Yeah.
Denmark then on 29, they have a 3-point cushion over Sweden, and they have a 6-point cushion over Australia and Poland. A win here for Kilderman, and they will have one hand on the Ovi funding trophy.
I agree with that.
Whatever the 3 behind them, whatever order they finish in.
Well, they're going to have a 4-point advantage at least, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, Janowski emerging on the track, and he's ridden well for Poland. Poland possibly just the inexperience, just sort of proving too much of a hurdle to overcome here. They'll gain from it though. They'll be back, you know that. Schislak will get hammered for it as well, which is a shame, because at some point you've got to bring in the youngsters.
You have.
And, you know, he's been around a while, but he will get some criticism for it, but I'm sure he'll hang on to his job and the Poles will be back next time. But it's yet to be decided between the Scandinavians who's going to get the gold.
Doyle is out again for Australia. I know we've got many people enjoying our live coverage in Australia right now. Good evening. Hope you're enjoying the World Cup final action here today in Denmark, where Australia have dug deep and have really worked hard here. And Doyle, can he make it 3 wins on the trot? Yeah. What a meeting this has been. Heat 18. What is going to happen next? Kilderman off the outside for Denmark. He's going to be worth watching. My goodness, Janowski and Kilderman side by side outside 2 gates. Lembach and Doyle off the inside 2. A reminder, Denmark in red lead on 29. Sweden in blue have 26 points. And then we have the Poles and the Australians locked on 23 points apiece, with a bronze medal up for grabs, potentially a silver medal. You do feel that the gold is just beyond Poland and Australia at this stage.
Yeah, well, I wrote the Australians off earlier. I was wrong, because they've battled. Well, I was wrong, and they've ridden brilliantly. When the exclusion with the Joker ride with Holder, I thought, well, crikey, their chances have gone of a medal, but they've done great, and largely due to this man out on track now. Doyle has shown great character here, and he has responded brilliantly. If he finishes with 3 wins, he'll go home a very happy man.
He will indeed. Top effort from Jason Doyle. This is heat number 18. Denmark in red lead the World Cup. Oh, Kilderman nudged the start and was very, very edgy there, and has been left at the back, but now he switches up the inside. He's gone from last to first, Peter Kilderman, and now here comes Doyle on the inside. Doyle almost collects the back wheel, and Janowski's gone! Oh, drama here. And is Janowski going to stay down? Yes, he is. The red lights are on, and we've got to do it all over again.
Well, we have. Wow, what a first corner from Kilderman. He made a terrible start, and he came chopping up the inside. Janowski there. I don't quite know what happened to him. Whether there was contact that caused him to go down.
I think he just ran out of room.
Yeah, may well have done. It was very tight, wasn't it, down the back straight? Janowski, he's up and about. No exclusion light. I'm looking at the referee to see what happened. We're looking at it again.
We didn't see Kilderman off 4 nudging at the start there.
Great first corner from Kilderman.
Oh,
down the back straight they go.
But he moved
Doyle,
at the start.
He did move at the start. Doyle's there. But Janowski's gone down. I reckon he's got some sort of problem.
He's got to go. He will have to be disqualified.
Because he was nowhere near anybody when he goes down.
Well, he has to be disqualified, doesn't he, for that? Magic Janowski. It's hard.
Well, it's a great opportunity for the Australians. Yeah, he's going to go down. He'll be excluded for that. There was no...
yeah, the white exclusion light is on.
Poland out. Great opportunity now for the Australians, who had no chance, in my mind, a few heats ago, and now all of a sudden they're in the driving seat for at least a bronze medal. Tough Speedway again. Kilderman, who missed the start entirely, but it doesn't seem to make much difference to him. He just then does something different, doesn't he, and just charges up the inside. He keeps hitting the fence at the end of the back straight, and literally the bike jumps up underneath him, and he seems to sort of do it almost on purpose.
2 minutes is on, Kelv.
Yeah, well, no hanging about here. And the riders are getting themselves now ready. Doyle is on the bike, looking for his 3rd consecutive win. Seeing it again, Kilderman awful off the start, but it gives him the opportunity to go to the inside, and it works a treat for him. Janowski gets caught here on the inside there, straightens up. I don't know if something's gone wrong, because he then doesn't really seem to be any reason why he gets off the bike.
That's a blow for Poland, because he is their top man, Maciej Janowski, and he's not going to score here, so it's a free hit for Australia in the battle for bronze, and a win for Australia would put them on to 26.
Well, I hope I'm not doing him a disservice, but...
Yeah, is there a problem with the bike because of that collision?
Maybe. Slightly odd one.
We won't know until afterwards.
No, we won't. Slightly odd one. It seems to go down tamely there, and I'm sure he doesn't, but it looked that way, and frustration for the Poles. And, you know, it was tough down the back straight. He was well clear from the first 2, wasn't he, after the initial contact, but no, the Poles have just run out of steam.
So here we go, we'll try it again, heat 18. few restarts today. Antonio Lindback off the inside in blue, Jason Doyle gate 2 in yellow, no rider off 3, and Peter Killerman goes off the outside in red. A lot of pressure on Lindback here to try and keep Sweden well and truly on the coattails of Denmark, because there's only 2 heats to go after this, and you never know if Lindback can pop out at the start and win the race. Well, it's wide open with 2 to go. Or will Kilderman's speed, and he's got plenty of that. And he's not afraid to use any part of the track, is he?
No, he'll go anywhere he needs to, and he has done so far. We're about to get underway.
Here we go, heat number 18. It's the second time of asking. Kilderman once again hasn't got to the first turn ahead of his rivals. Lindback has the lead, but now here comes Kilderman. Get out of the way! Peter Kilderman comes through and brushes aside Antonio Lindback with Jason Doyle in 3rd place now. This would give Denmark a 4-point lead with 2 races of the World Cup final to go.
What a first corner once again. Action replay of the previous start from him. It was a bit closer though. Lindback was trying to cover the move, but Peter Kilderman was irresistible. Jason Doyle is now setting after Lindback, and if Doyle gets the better of Lindback, that'll do the Danes a favour. It will stretch to 5 points with 2 heats to go. Peter Kilderman has been outstanding this afternoon. He's going to win another race here, and he fully deserves to.
And we're going to watch him in the Grand Prix as well, following the unfortunate injury to Jari Campbell. Kilderman next in line for Cardiff on July the 4th. Peter Kilderman is going to take the checkered flag. He's a hero for Denmark now. And this Vojens Speedway Centre erupts because they are a step closer now towards winning the OV Funding Trophy and the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup as Kilderman celebrates on one wheel down the back straight.
Yeah, what an afternoon he's had. He's only dropped a couple of points and he's won his last 3 races, and the move in the first corner, he's just that confidence in him. He's a hard charger. He's quite an intimidating rider in actual fact, and when he got alongside there, Lindback, he had no answer to the Swedish rider.
4 wins from 5 rides.
Yeah, great performance, and he has been a hero for them. You're right there, and yeah, his performance could well see them get the gold medal.
Wouldn't surprise me, you know, if he rides all 9 GPs now in the absence of Jarek. Wouldn't surprise me if Kilderman gets a top 8 place.
I'm going to put money on it.
On that form.
I'm going to put money on it.
Kilderman, Lindback, Doyle, the finishing order of heat number 18, and this is what it means. Denmark 32, they can win it in the next race. Sweden 28, Australia 24, Poland have 23 points. It does appear as though it's a straight shootout between Australia and Poland for the bronze, and with Kenneth Bjerre here for Denmark, they could potentially win it here if they finish ahead of Sweden. If Bjerre beats Lindgren here, that'll do it.
Absolutely, and so it could well be over in heat 19. Sensational first corner from Peter Kilderman. He gets the better of Lindback, clouts that fence again down the back straight. He's been doing that all afternoon. Nothing new there. It's a bit harder this time. There's a little bit less room, but still he has the speed, he has the drive, and he powers to the front. Denmark are in the driving seat, and once again, seeing Janowski coming out?
Yeah, in the white helmet colour,
Yeah.
it's Maciej Janowski coming in for Krzysztof Peszkowski as a tactical substitution.
Right, okay, so Poland haven't quite thrown the towel in. They're desperate to try and get a medal here with their man who, I don't know quite what happened to him last time. I'm sure we'll find out, but he slipped off and got it excluded. We're looking at programs of team managers. Anders Secker, he'll know full well what's going on, but Bjerre could seal it for him here on the inside.
He certainly could. Here we go with heat number 19. What a lineup it is. Kenneth Bjerre off the inside in red. Freddie Lindgren off gate 2 in blue for Sweden. Troy Batchelor, gate 3 for Australia, who are 1 point ahead of Poland, and Maciej Janowski is a tactical sub. Kenneth Bjerre was the man that many people talked about. He kept out Michael Jepsen Jensen, Hans Andersen, some top riders. Could he be the Danish hero here, or will we be going down to heat number 20 to decide the World Cup when Niels Christian Iversen is the man for Denmark? Heat number 19, here we go! Tape tries. Oh! Bjerre has packed up. Unbelievable here. And now Janowski is going to go high and wide, but Lindgren's got the drive. And this is going to put Sweden within a point as Janowski charges hard now. Can Lindgren hold on to the lead? Here comes Janowski!
Oh, great run from Janowski. Can Can you believe Pierre's bike packs up on the line? Now Lingman back to the front. Brilliant ride from Freddie Lingman. Can you believe that?
Holds the line superbly,
He
Lingman.
does indeed. Janowski coming back and then Bachelor in third. Janowski to the front. Now Lingman back to the inside. Repays the compliment. Breathtaking Speedway.
Still a lap and a half to go of heat number 19. Freddie Lindgren holds the lead right now. This would put Sweden onto 31 and Denmark onto 32 with one race to go. Janowski holds second. Bachelor trying desperate. Oh, he's just lost control there. Troy Bachelor, one last swoop. Lindgren, though, he's a clever rider. He'll hold the inside line. And Freddie Lindgren takes it to a last heat decider with Sweden 1 point behind the host nation Denmark. Drama here in heat number 19. Just as we were saying, it could be all over in that one. It's wide open again.
It is wide open, and the reason is because Freddie Lindgren rides a stormer under huge pressure from Janowski. Bitter disappointment for Kenneth Pierre. Bike packs up. Not quite sure what went wrong with it, but the bottom line is it doesn't go anywhere.
And level for the bronze, 25 each, Poland and Australia. Well,
what an afternoon of Speedway. The result.
Yeah, Lindgren the winner with Janowski second, Bachelor third, and this is what it means: a battle for the gold and a battle for the bronze. Denmark 32, Sweden 31, and level pegging between Australia and Poland for the bronze.
We've got one race to go, and it's going to be a grandstand finish, that's for sure. Certain massive pressure on Niels Christian Iversen, now the captain of the home team. Holder, of course, Johnson, Andreas Johnson has been fantastic. We'll see it again. Oh, what a blow for Pierre. He won't believe it. Freddie Lindgren there rides a great ride here. Janowski on the outside, Lindgren on the inside initially. Lindgren gets to the front, and then what a ride it was from Janowski. He actually gets to the front on more than one occasion, but Lindgren just keeps coming back at him. He's not in the Grand Prix anymore, Freddie Lindgren, but this result and this performance is out of the top drawer, and he rides a stormer, giving his team, his nation, an opportunity to win the World Cup for the second time here in Vojens. Andreas Johnson, the team captain, has got to come up with a massive ride. What a Speedway event this has been.
Can't go to a runoff for the World Cup, can it? Yes, it can.
Yes, it can.
Astonishing here, heat number 20 it is. We won't have a runoff for the bronze medal, of course, because it's who finishes better here between the Poles and the Australians. But there's a 1 point gap between Denmark and Sweden. Denmark have the lead on 32. Niels Christian Iversen is the man who delivered the goods last year. He was the last heat hero last year to win it. And here we have Przemek Pawlicki off the inside for Poland in white.
Yeah.
Niels Christian Iversen, gate 2 in red for the Danes. Andreas Johnson, gate 3 in blue for Sweden. And Chris Holder is coming in here on the outside for yellow for Australia. What a lineup and what a meeting this has been. Yeah. And this is the decider, heat number 20.
Yes, it is, and Andreas Johnson has ridden very well for the Swedes here. He's had a couple of wins, second place last time out, so he's in good form. Niels Christian Iversen hasn't been totally convincing, but he's had a couple of wins as well, so he's been pretty much there. Pawlicki could be dangerous on the inside, Holder on the outside, but the two the Scandinavians going head-to-head here, coming out of gates 2 and 3.
This will be an interesting first turn, that's for sure. Jansson's made the start superbly. Pawlicki's there as well. Now what can Iversen do as Holder sweeps around the outside and Jansson's gone to the back, and now it's Niels Christian Iversen who holds second place. Jansson's going to come.
Oh, drama! Oh, what a crash!
Oh dear, oh dear.
Holder does remarkably well there to put the bike down.
They're both okay.
Unbelievably.
They're both okay.
Holder gets off the bike so quickly there. Unbelievable. Niels Christian Iversen coming charging up the inside of Pawlicki. Total drama. Iversen's going to be excluded.
He's going to be, yeah.
Iversen is going to cost them the World Cup. Tapes up into the first corner. Pawlicki great away from the tapes. Middle of the track, Johnson riding way too wide.
Great ride by Holder.
Iversen now charges into the inside. Pavlicki pulls a locker, and Everson just wipes him out, and Holder. Holder, keep your eyes on Holder, Nigel. How well does he react? Well, we don't see it there. We don't see it there, it's a shame. But Holder does miracles here to get off the bike.
Fantastic.
Now Everson just slams in the side of Pavlicki, all out of shape, off the back of the bike. Holder puts the bike down. Brilliant reactions from the Aussie.
That is fantastic from Chris Holder.
Yeah.
Straight away, both of them got
red
to the
exclusion
knee.
light on Nige.
Niels Christian Everson is excluded, disqualified. There will be 3 riders only in heat number 20 with the World Cup on the line, and all Andreas Jonsson needs is a 2nd place. It's not all over, because if Jonsson...
all over for Everson, excuse me, but
if
not for
Jonsson
Denmark.
only finishes 3rd, we've got a run-off.
Yeah, so, the result is not. Everson there, just overdoing it. He'll be gutted. Drama in the extreme there, Nige. Wow. Just runs in a little bit too hot and running the side. As he was carrying all the speed, Pavlicki pulled a bit of a locker, and that creates the issue. Good start initially.
I'm just so pleased to see them okay, Kel.
Oh, I thought there was going to be I thought for sure we were going to see an ambulance there, because the speed here when Everson hits the side and the bike going across. Holder does so well.
It's easy for me to say this, but Niels just needed to sit there. But the fact that Pavlicki is locked up,
Pavlicki stops, and
it's
that
made it hard
creates
for
the
him.
problem. Yeah, he just can't scrub the speed off enough. And now, bang! How he puts the bike down so quick.
Chris Holder was absolutely sensational.
He was a hero. Because if he had stayed on it, Everson and himself probably would have been seriously hurt.
Yeah, the lock up there is what's caught out Everson, isn't it? The lock of Pavlicki.
Yeah, just slows as he's got lots of speed. And
well, what it needs now for Sweden is for Andreas Jonsson to finish 2nd or better, for Sweden to end a decade domination of Poland and Denmark winning the World Cup. Sweden need a 2nd place here to be crowned World Cup winners.
Well, they won the World Cup in 03 here. Can they make 2015 a memorable year as well? Because they are with a great opportunity. Jonsson went far too wide in the first corner originally. He made a good drop, but then decided to go for the big blast around the outside, and he got relegated towards the back. He doesn't need to do that this time. He needs to try and make sure he gets a better run around that first corner to pick up the vital points, the 2 vital points they need to be world champions.
Well, Steve Brandon is with the Danish team manager, Anders Secker.
Anders Secker, heart in your mouth time now, hoping Australia and Poland can do you a massive favour.
Not a good decision, not a good call from the ref here. I think Everson was doing the best he could, and he was fast getting in line there, and then the rider in front just blocks the road for him. And I think that's not fair that Everson is included here.
Unfortunately, someone has to go as the cause of the stoppage. That's the referee's decision. But you guys know last year it came down to heat 20, and again, it's not over yet.
No, but then Sweden must finish this heat, and let's wait and see. But the chances are not so big now.
All right, the last 3 guys are going to push off behind you. Thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, Anders Secker saying that it's not a good decision, but you know, it's a normal racing incident. Yes, Pavlicki locked up in front of him, but he had the lead. And Everson, well, he did his best, but the bottom line is that was the right decision, wasn't it?
It was the right decision, and Anders Secker, he may review his comment there a little bit later on, but I understand the frustration.
Heat of the moment.
Heat of the moment, and he'll be disappointed because he feels that the World Cup has slipped away. It hasn't yet. They have no representative here, so it's out of their, it's beyond their control, rather. And
well,
Andreas Jonsson's got all the pressure on him. He's ridden well, but he's going to have to come up with a big ride. Holder, I can't believe he's coming back to the tapes. How on earth he got the bike down and stayed out of harm's way was a miracle.
It's not a done deal, this. Pavlicki and Holder are great talents. Holder is a former world champion. If they relegate Andreas Jonsson to 3rd place, the meeting finishes level on 32 between Denmark and Sweden.
And you're dead right, because they have still a lot of motivation in the race, don't they? Because they've got a medal on the line, which either one beats each other, they will get the bronze medal. So Holder and Pavlicki will still be charging very hard. It's not like they're just going to make the numbers up here. If Pavlicki hits the front, Holder then has to try and beat him. So Jonsson is under pressure. He needs to remain composed. This is drama. This is the pressure. These sort of races, if you manage to win a race like this and clinch the World Cup and be the gold medal holders on the night, that is what you dream of doing. And Andreas Jonsson is in that position right now.
He'll be pretty cool, won't he, AJ? Seen it all before.
Yeah, he's a Grand Prix winner, isn't he? And he knows what it means to win. He won the Grand Prix here last year, in actual fact, so he knows what it takes.
Pawlicki off the inside, no rider off 2. Jonsson off 3, needs second or better to be crowned world champions, Sweden. Chris Holder off the outside in yellow. A reminder that the last time a team outside of Denmark and Poland won the World Cup was 2004. That was Sweden. Now, here we go. Heat number 20. Jonsson in blue needs a second place or better. He's made a smooth start from gate number 3. Now he's going to lock up the inside. That allows Holder around the outside, but Jonsson is there. Pawlicki's lost it, and now Jonsson has the lead. And Andreas Jonsson has the advantage, which would give Sweden the World Cup here for the first time in a decade.
Yeah, great first corner there. He was in the right place at the right time. Pawlicki looking all over the place, but he lifted, and that allowed Jonsson to hit to the front. And it looks like Jonsson's going to seal their World Cup victory here this afternoon. Pawlicki in second. Holder desperately wants to try and find a way through, because the Poles, as it stands, will pick up the bronze medal. But got to say, Andreas Jonsson riding a stormer out in front. This will be his third win here this afternoon. A lap to go.
Yep, into the final lap they go, and it looks like Sweden are going to break Danish hearts here in Vojens this afternoon, going into the closing stages of heat number 20. The last time they won the World Cup was 2004, and Sweden are World Cup winners for 2015, and the decade of dominance for Poland and the Danish side is over as Sweden grab a dramatic victory here in Denmark this afternoon, and it's Andreas Jonsson who proves to be the match winner in heat 20.
Well, he has ridden supremely well. He's captained the team, and you can see the celebrations are about to kick off now. They came in here as complete underdogs. Nobody fancied them. They really weren't expected to get a medal. A lot of people thought they'd finish 4th, and absolutely the reverse has happened. They've come away and they have done the business and won on the afternoon. Brilliant stuff. Got a feel for Denmark. Haven't quite managed to do it.
Poland get a bronze.
The young Polish team have snatched a bronze away from the Australians, who have done themselves proud. Got to say, they've ridden hard. Pawlicki is now having a crash on the back straight.
He's trying to do a wheelie, he's just crashed.
He's just crashed. The team are having to be very patient, but Andreas Jonsson and his troops will be cock-a-hoop here. They haven't been amongst the gold medals for some period of time, and you've got to say that they've done a great job. What a Speedway meeting, Nigel.
We were on the same wavelength there.
Yeah.
And
not so hard here, was it? Because it was an entertaining afternoon.
Yeah, bumps for Pawlicki. He's the hero for Poland to get the bronze. Absolutely breathtaking.
Do you know what was ironic about that? He crashed there in the meeting twice, and he crashed on his own court in exactly the same place. What an afternoon. It's been an absolute treat to be here.
Yep, heat 20. Just to confirm, Andreas Jonsson the winner, Piotr Pawlicki second, Chris Holder was third. That means that it's gold for Sweden this afternoon. It's silver for Denmark, bronze for Poland. And look how close the scores are. 8 points between the 4 nations after 20 heats here this afternoon. What a meeting.
What a meeting indeed, and Iversen clearly totally gutted.
Such a lovely fella, Niels, as well.
Nice guy. And he'll feel that he's cost his country the World Cup. Andreas Jonsson makes a good jump, but Pawlicki makes a good fist of it from the inside, lifts now. That costs, that opens the door rather for Andreas Jonsson to hit the front, and that's really the move that seals the victory for the Swedish team. He's putting plenty of pressure on the young Pole, but the Pole just lifting at the vital moment, and that allows AJ to hit the front. Chris Holder this time not able to pass Pawlicki, and it's the Poles that secure the third medal, the bronze medal on the afternoon. But Andreas Jonsson with 3 wins to his name. He's scored in every race. He's got 12 points from 5 rides. Tell you what, he'll be chuffed to bits with that, and hugely proud that he's led his team to victory here this afternoon. As I said before, they weren't expected to win. They were possibly the weakest team, but it hasn't proven that way. And Morgan Anderson, what a dream debut as a team manager for him. He wins in his first try.
Let's get some reaction now with Steve Brandon.
Maciej Janowski, lots of noise, lots of excitement down here, but for you guys today, a bronze medal, but I think a very good effort.
Yeah, you know, we're happy, you know. It's better like fourth place, so, but of course we are second lose, second team would lose, you know. Yeah, we're happy, you know. This is a very young team, and we all try so hard. That was a really tough meeting, so congratulations to the Danish team and the Swedish team, and also Aussie team. They all was incredible good tonight.
For a person to watch the meeting, that was a sensational watch. But one man who you guys all thought about all week, Jarek Hampel. A word about Jarek.
You know, he sent some message to the coach, say all the best. You know, he was with us. So, but of course, it's really hard without him. So, Jarek, I hope you back soon.
A bronze medal today, a bright future for Poland. Well done.
Thank you very much.
So, I'm going to bring Niels Christian Iversen in now. So different from last year's result for him, but he's going to talk to me now. Niels, last year's World Cup, it all went right in the last race. Today, unfortunately, it all went wrong for you.
Yeah, I can't even... It's hard to describe how I feel right now, but... Yeah.
I mean, an emotional time, and I really appreciate you coming and talking to me so soon after the meeting. A sensational Speedway meeting from start to finish.
Yeah, it was close all the way through, and you know, it was brilliant to watch for the crowd, and yeah, congrats to Sweden that they win, you know, but yeah, what can I say, you know, I threw everything away in that race, yeah, I can't say anymore.
Yeah, I think I would say a team wins and a team loses the World Cup together, and you don't have to take that all on board, but just from a Danish perspective, lots of World Championship wins, lots of World Cup wins, but just today, not that day at the end of it.
No, you know, it wasn't our day. You know, we finished off the last two races with Kenny's bike packing up and I getting excluded. So, you know, we had everything to play for in the end, and we sort of screwed it up.
Just one word on the crowd today. They've turned out in numbers on a Sunday afternoon, and they were almost like the fifth man for Denmark.
Yeah, it was brilliant to race here in front of the home crowd. You know, unfortunately we couldn't win it, and yeah, we have to come back next year, and hopefully we can do it differently.
Not the finish you wanted. Thanks for talking to me. So, the winning captain who did it all in Heat 20, he's coming to join me now. Andreas Jonsson, big smile. What a great win.
Yeah, really happy. You know, we worked really tight together, all team, all the riders, and discussed the setups, how the bikes worked, and I think just managed to get these extra points through the heats, you know, and you know, it's not over until the sinks.
A new team manager this year, 5 riders used. Peter Ljung still played a big part in the team today.
Oh, definitely, you know, he was a big help with the setup. Peter is very clever with that, you know, and it's good to have a rider on the side who can say what the bikes are doing, because sometimes when you're out there, there's so much adrenaline in your body and you don't think clear, you know, and you're coming in and you don't know if the bike is spinning or dying, and you know, he was really good because he watched that and he could give you an advice when you come in, and you know, everybody in the team deserved this gold medal, and we worked really hard and we worked together for it.
Speaking of adrenaline, where would you describe the levels at the restart of Heat 20?
Yeah, it was just unbelievable, you know. I just I've been in this situation before, but it's every time just feels special, you know, and you just got to try to keep as calm as you can, because no, it is difficult. 2004
is a long time ago. It's great for Sweden to put themselves back as Speedway World Cup champions.
Definitely, you know, and we came into this World Cup without being any favorites and stuff. Definitely the underdogs, and we really showed them that you know, you got to count with Sweden.
Winning captain of the 2015 Monster Energy Speedway World Cup team, Sweden, Andreas Jonsson. The anthem's going to sound great out there.
Definitely, you know.
Many, many congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah, great effort, and one of those Speedway meetings, I think, Kelvin, where we will remember it for a long, long time. Here are the final standings confirmation. Sweden, Denmark, Poland, Australia. So bronze for Poland and gold for Sweden. Has to be said, Kelvin, quite a few of the home fans have made their way away from Vojens already.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed, won't they? They come here, they're very proud, but Denmark just failing at the last there, and just a shame for them, but delight for Sweden. Poland battling hard with Australia. Australia, you know, they haven't got anything from this meeting, but they've still done pretty good. Poland, with the young team, have really scrapped very hard indeed to get that bronze medal. But Sweden, what an afternoon for them. And Andres Ronson there, you could see how hard it was for him to just describe the pressure of going out for that rerun in Heat 20 to seal the deal. We're seeing riders now just getting themselves together for the presentation. The Polish team with Marek Cieślak, it's a high-pressure cooker environment for Speedway in Poland, and there will be some criticism of Cieślak with his choice of riders here, but...
Future's bright though, Kel, for the Poles.
Yeah, exactly. They've got lots of young riders coming through, and this team is young, and they will have benefited from this afternoon's racing. And I'm sure that at some point they will, in the very near future, they will be winning again.
Yeah, I'm sure of that as well. Niels Christian Iversen did very well to speak to us. He's going to be absolutely devastated. He is one of the sport's nice guys.
Yes.
And he'll be back for sure. Denmark went agonising. It must be so hard for these guys to take right now.
Very difficult, and the highs and lows of sport can be quite brutal at times. You know, Nicky Pedersen's had a difficult afternoon, just 4 points for 5 rides. Pierre's bike packing up, really, you know, you couldn't have predicted that.
Nicky Pedersen's exclusion, Nicky got 2 from 4 rides.
Got 4.
I'm not singling him out, Kelvin.
No,
but
below par.
From a man in form, second in the World Championship, you'd have had Nicky down for double figures, wouldn't you?
Dead right, and you know, for me, the big call was Pierre, and Pierre started well and then had a decent ride in his 4th ride, but the bike packing up in his last ride, that really did, that proved to be a hammer blow and opened the door for this team. But Sweden have kept themselves in the hunt all through the meeting. They've been winning races, they've scrapped really hard, it's been unpredictable, but in a hotly contested, tense afternoon of Speedway, they've come out on top, and I hope they celebrate long and hard here, because these sort of victories and these sort of days are few and far between. They don't come around that often, so they're a great Speedway nation, Sweden. They've had some, you know, the Ovi Funden Trophy, it is actually named after the 5-time former Swedish world champion.
Yeah.
So we've had Tony Rickardsson, of course, a 6-time world champion, and they were the glory days in recent history with Tony Rickardsson around. But this team have come good, and all credit to them.
Yeah, so the presentations, so it will be tough for the Danish boys, I'm sure, and they'll be trying to lift Niels Christian Iversen as well, because he was giving it his best. But
that'll sting. That'll sting for a few days, won't it?
Yeah.
You know, that he'll be rerunning that in his mind. How could I have done it differently? He'll watch it, of course, and he'll be thinking, if only I'd done it, gone round him, or. But he made that commitment, and Speedway is, you know, split-second decisions, and they can go for you or against you. And quite clearly, he felt that he'd made the wrong call there, and the drama that ensued, Holder having to put the bike down. The racing, Peter Kilderman in the Danish team, he can, without doubt, hold his head high.
Oh, he's been brilliant, and that sets the scene for the Grand Prix for the rest of the season. If indeed Jari Campbell is out for the season, Kilderman is the man who will take his place. And as I said earlier, you'd fancy him for the top 8.
Yeah, absolutely. If he does 9 Grand Prix, he's got a very good chance of qualifying by right through to next year. And it all starts again, of course, in 3 weeks' time in Cardiff, where the World Championship leader will see there, Ty Wolfenden, but he'll have plenty of competition. Janowski, of course, riding nicely in the GPs. Denmark just getting their silver medals. They're used to getting gold medals, of course.
Yes, they are.
But they broke Poland's hearts last year. The move by Iversen, he must reflect on that. You know, that when he passed Kolodje around the last corner at Bydgoszcz to snatch the win away from the Poles, you know, that was a fantastic night. So I'm sure.
Right decision though to disqualify him. You know, if it was a British rider and we were,
the referees made the right calls all day.
I think he's had a good meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, very good meeting, and he'll feel down in the dumps for a day or two, but he's a strong character. He's come back from a nasty injury from last year. I'm sure he'll get over this and he'll be back to winning ways very soon.
Wow. We have the Grand Prix coming up in Stockholm and Manila. Two Grand Prix in Sweden coming up. Manila is in July, Stockholm is in September. And we have World Cup winners in the Grand Prix. So, yeah, certainly Andreas Jonsson in the Grand Prix. They're one and only GP rider in the Swedish lineup. So, certainly that's going to be a big boost for Swedish Speedway, Kelvin.
Dead right. And Andreas Jonsson's made a big commitment to his racing this year back in Britain. Had an injury, nasty injury, so we haven't seen quite as much of him as we would have liked. But as I said before, a very proud Speedway nation with a rich history. So, you know, this will be, you know, rekindle the interest in their homeland, and 2 Grand Prix to come. It could be a great summer of Speedway for the Swedes.
And what about his first 2 rides, Andreas Jonsson? He was super
outstanding,
quick.
Outstanding. Brand new engines in for this afternoon's World Cup final. And it looks like they work very well indeed. He was very quick.
Yeah, very much so. Congratulations to the Swedish side. Andreas Jonsson, a hero there. And really has been a fantastic week. But Sweden are the champions.
Stort tillykke til Sverige, verdensmestre.
Well, congratulations to Sweden then. It's their day. Dramatic late twist in the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup.
Yes.
And the champagne celebrations begin here. We would have had long odds for them to win the World Cup today, but they have pulled it off.
They have pulled it off. You know, they've kept themselves within a shout, but you've got to say that they had a bit of good fortune with the retirement of Kenneth Pierre, and they were then ready to pounce. It looked like when Peter Kilderman had won Heat 18, it was all systems go for another Danish win, but it's so unpredictable. And I did say, actually, it only takes an exclusion or an engine failure, and that's, it was the commentator's curse for Kenneth Pierre, which his bike then packed up. But Kenneth Pierre, the Team Sweden and their troops now taking the photographs that will be sent around the world. And it's big news for Sweden. This is, you know, as I say, they've got very competitive league racing there. They've got some world-class riders, and they're hungry for success. They have very high standards there, and nobody's really filled the shoes or boots that Tony Rickardsson left behind. And Andreas Jonsson has threatened on occasion, but never quite done that. But maybe Andreas Jonsson now will be boosted by this and really prove to be a winner at Grand Prix again as well.
And I'm sure somebody like Freddie Lindgren will use this moment as well to remind people he's still around on the world stage and he'd love to be a GP rider again.
Yes, and Antonio Lembach, also a former Grand Prix rider, he's ridden well. So yes, they've got qualities there. And it has been a great opportunity for that team and that country to rekindle their performances at this level. So congratulations to them. Linus Sundström, of course, it's first gold medal for him. He'll be chuffed to bits. But Andreas Jonsson and the crew, quite clearly you can see the delight on their faces.
Yeah, brilliant. And bouquet of flowers going to a Swedish supporter that has just come down to greet the riders. We congratulate them, a fine effort. Really top performance. Yes, they had a little bit of good fortune along the way, but they had to take it while it was there.
Yeah, they did, and you know, they kept themselves with a shout. As I say, after heat 18, it looked like that Denmark were going to seal it up quite comfortably, with Kenneth Bjerre coming out off the inside gate in heat 19, but you can't predict when the racing bike is going to pack up, and unfortunately for Bjerre and Denmark, it packed up there and then it slipped away from Denmark. Iversen obviously just overdoing it in heat 20, and of course that then really was the end. The game was up effectively, but Poland have ridden nicely as well with a young team. They've battled hard and got the bronze medal.
Well, Kelvin, great World Cup week. Looking forward to Cardiff now on July the 4th, and we congratulate Sweden on their World Cup victory. Enjoyed the whole week, and we look forward to meeting up with you again, Kelvin, in the Millennium Stadium, Cardiff, on July the 4th for the next GP, which is round 4 of the Grand Prix Series. Meantime, many congratulations to Team Sweden. The Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final was delayed by a day, but my word, it was worth the wait. The action was fast and furious. A crash in the early stages. Kenneth Bjerre thankfully was able to get up and ride, and he won the rerun. It was dramatic to say the least, but that set the tone for the way the meeting was going to go. Referee had to be kept on his toes, had to make some tough decisions along the way, but Denmark somehow, some way, still managed to stay ahead of their rivals. But at one stage, 3 nations were locked in the battle for the Ovi Funding Trophy. There was no quarter asked or given. Sometimes it was a little bit over the top. Sometimes riders were going over the edge. Team managers playing their part along the way as Denmark, Sweden, Australia and Poland went head-to-head. There was a subplot as well, with a battle for the bronze medal as the meeting developed. It ended up being a shootout between Denmark and Sweden for the Ovi Funding Trophy, and then Poland and Australia for the bronze. When Matsianowski came off, that was an opportunity for Australia to pounce. Peter Kilderman, magnificent in the World Cup final with 4 wins from his 5 rides, went right down to the wire, and Kenneth Bjerre packed up, and a second knew his side still had work to do, even though they were looking good for a place on the top step of the podium. Then Freddie Lindgren came through. He was magnificent for Sweden. Then this dramatic situation. Niels Christian Iversen disqualified for causing the stoppage of heat 20. Danish fans knew their time was up. All Andreas Jonsson needed was a second place for Sweden. He duly did the business with a victory. And after a decade of dominance between Denmark and the Poles, it's Team Sweden who celebrate victory and the Ovi Funding Trophy, named after the Swedish legend, multi-world champion. Celebration time for the Swedes out there on the podium on the infield. AJ the hero, and the celebrations, the champagne feel for all the Swedish side. It's Team Sweden who win the Ovi Funding Trophy.